Welcome everyone. Do not adjust your sets. Everything as it is as it should be. I am in the correct place over here today because today we are doing something totally different in more ways than one. So this is kind of inspired by the fact that I've wanted to DM basically since almost since before I started playing. But it's intimidating. You know, there's a lot of rules and a lot of stuff to go on, and this is what I see all in the forums too. Everybody's like, oh, I want to DM for my first time and I'm nervous about doing it, and you know, do you have any tips? And everybody says just do it. Like, what's the worst case scenario? So we've decided to set up the worst case scenario, and that is when all of your players know way more about this than you do. So this is my first time ever DMing a game, and I am joined today by 3 very experienced game masters who have run a variety of things and are very familiar with D&D 5e. Starting off to my left with our very own Kevin, also known as Guy Boton, also known as Marshall Kevin, also known as Dirty 20 Gaming. You've probably seen him on our channel running the Deadlands campaign that we do on Tuesday nights. Everybody say hello to Kevin.
Hello, Kevin.
Hello.
Not you guys already know. After Kevin, no, most of our viewers probably know. After Kevin, we have Dawn, also known as Roll for Initiative, along with Ryan, who both of them you've seen as players on our channel. Dawn in our Monday game as the Warlock Keith Tea Leaf, and Ryan as the relatively new, quite mysterious character in our Deadlands game, Baptiste Saint something to do. He's got a lot of names.
I was wondering how you were going to do that.
That's how I'm doing it. And last, but certainly not least, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Welcome to the Academy. Last but certainly not least, we have our most typical, most commonly seen here dungeon master, who seems to be possibly frozen in the output.
I might be frozen in the output, but
he might be frozen.
2 of us seem to be not moving very much.
To be fair, I'm frozen in an incredible pose.
That is true. So hopefully that'll sort itself out.
I just look vaguely distracted, but
if it doesn't, we'll just see that for a while.
And that's fine. I think that's perfect.
It's all good. But this is Puck, Lord of Chaos. He DMs our main game, the founding inspiration behind this whole channel, the Avalon Knights Academy 2-game situation. And you know what? I'm debating whether or not we should try to fix this right now. Sean, maybe if you end your video and restart it, it will fix that. But I'm warning Ashley that this is going to move people.
Oh, I did it. I did it very quickly.
You did it, and it didn't fix anything. It just but
it just moved me slightly down.
That's it. A good moment to introduce you all to our new apprentice producer here, Tech Critter, who you may have seen on our Sunday show a couple weeks ago, playing the Paladin Alicia. Her first game ever. She blew it out of the park with the role play. So we're very happy to have her also helping out here with the production. So please be kind, forgive us a little bit if we have some glitches here and there that might happen, but this is a new sort of experimental thing for all of us in a lot of ways. And just as backup, I'm going to make sure that I'm recording the Zoom call so that if we lose it, we'll have a great video for you on YouTube at the end of it.
I like this better. I think I can take my pants off now.
I mean, wait, are you telling me you usually wear pants to these things?
Well, look, I mean, I have to get up during the breaks.
Oh, right, I guess. You don't want to be full on Donald Ducking it around here.
I don't want to blow any there's behind the scenes secrets.
Nobody needs to see behind those scenes.
Exactly. You don't need it. We're looking for viewers to improve an experience.
Right.
And I have an incredible pose there. I have no complaints.
Right. So a little more explanation on exactly what we're doing here, while hopefully Tech Critter can get this sorted out. We, as I said, this is my first time ever DMing, and these are 3 very experienced DMs who are going to put me through the ringer here. Oh, fantastic. Awesome. You just got to rearrange people now.
There we go.
I can move again.
And the idea of this is really to show you that like this is going to be about as bad as it can get. So if you've been nervous about starting to DM, just dive into it. We are going to be running the Lost Mines of Phandelver, the starter set adventure, and we're doing this straight out of the box. Oh, thank you.
Oh, thank you so much.
And we're doing this straight out of the box. We are using the pre-generated characters even to get a little bit closer to the simulation of what you might experience if you're playing with friends who are new to the game.
That's too bad because I was gonna roll like a half dragon demi.
Yeah, on that note as well, along with the starter set thing, we're sticking to the starter set basic rules here. So to
part
keep them
vampire.
from doing, yeah, any wild ass combination of actions that I can't deal with, anything like that. Also, rest assured that I haven't done a whole lot of prep for this either. Pretty much winged it. I spent a little over an hour reading through the module. And I so I know what's going on here, but yeah. Ashley, just in case you didn't realize, Kevin and Sean need to be switched.
We've reversed.
Yeah,
that's okay. I'll be Dirty 20 gaming now.
Right. The overlay's getting away from you. You gotta lock that in. Okay. So
you're not producing anymore.
I'm sorry, I can't help it. Okay. We're all trying new things, new roles, new things, new adventures. Hey, lock the overlay; it'll help him out so you don't move it around accidentally. So, without that, let's do a little introduction here. Without further ado,
okay,
we joined the world of the Lost Realms. On the high road, 2 travelers are moving north on their way to Neverwinter. A large, half-giant man carrying a club, and a thinner man, almost as tall as him, largely obscured by rags and a ratty cowl. They're walking north on the road when they come to an intersection of a small trail with a signpost that says Tribor Trail. And as they pass by, they kind of glance down it and notice a cart pulled off to the side with 3 adventurers who seem to be taking a quick rest and sort of securing their cart before they go from the much more well-defended and traveled high road to the smaller Tribor Trail. And as these 2 adventurers pass, they kind of take a look and lament that the wagon doesn't seem to be traveling their direction because they have a few more days travel before they get to Neverwinter. And I'm sure crazy shit's going to happen to them in the meantime. But
I see what you've done there.
Yeah, you like that? But they can't help but notice, especially one individual, seems to be an elf of indeterminate gender. Kevin, why don't you tell us about the person they noticed there?
Sitting on the back of the cart, feet dangling in the sun, is indeed a sun elf. It would be fair to say there's a bit of flash on this young man. He's an older man. Let's just start at the bottom. The shoes, granny boots, about a 2.5-inch heel, black leather covered in purple sequins. Tucked into that, extraordinarily tight black leather pants. You kind of wish you'd stopped at that point, because when you pan up from there, there is a protuberant codpiece, rather out of scale, that strangely, as he kicks his feet back and forth, the codpiece jingles as though it's full of coins. Above that, there's a black corset, whalebone and black lace, and over that, a frock coat, which shows a lot of décolletage, which is just ribs, basically. And he's got bronze hair, bronze skin, copper hair, and the roots are dyed brass to make it look like his hair's growing in golden blonde.
Kevin, everybody.
That's how you do an intro, guys. And this garish character, what is he doing now as you're getting ready to continue down your next leg of this journey? You've already been on the road for a couple days at this point, and you're escorting this wagon out to the town of Phandelver. A acquaintance of the cleric by the name of Gunn Drin Rockseeker. Yes, that Gunn Drin Rockseeker.
The Gunn Drin Rockseeker?
The Gunn Drin Rockseeker of every other podcast in the world's fame. Okay. Has tasked you with what should be a simple task, escorting this cart of goods to the town of Phandelver. We are to deliver it to the MOM trading post into the care of Marty O'Malley, the keeper of said trading post.
I'm so
I love those inside jokes. Just get
I'm so proud. I feel like I've taught you so much.
I've been paying attention these months, my friend.
Thanks again. We get friggin'.
Yeah.
It's raining.
So, who is our cleric, and how do they know Gunn Drin Rockseeker?
Our cleric is Renry Copperpot, and we'll go reverse of Eddie and start at the top. She's got her hair braided, and her beard is also in several braids. She's got under I forgot to look what armor she's wearing. She's got like a lot of scarves and like handmade stuff, and is polishing a great axe or warhammer. Sorry, warhammer, and just kind of humming to herself. And she knows Gunn Drin through going to church,
and
going to worship, doing. Yes.
And help a new DM out. What is doing the deity of?
It's a light
stuff.
Dwarven finder of trails, watchful eye, kind of a light adventuring dwarven god.
Okay. And as these two are going about their business, readying their weapons, getting a slight rest, there is a third who is doing what?
He is sipping tea because it is tea time. And he is Sir Reginald Theresa Applebottom the Third.
And what does Sir Reginald look like?
Sir Reginald Theresa Applebottom the Third is a tall, slender man. You know, he doesn't have a face, and he hides in the wood and eats children. No, he's a tall, slender man. He dresses as a noble over top of his chainmail, and he carries a great axe. And the great axe is, of course, embellished with the coat of arms of the Applebottom family, of which he is a prestigious member of. And he sips his tea. Beautiful name. Lovely day for journey.
Didn't want to go with Bottom Tooth?
I watched a bunch of Bottom Tooth highlight videos, and I'm like, I can't quite do that whole thing, so I'll do another guy that's kind of like that and doing his clothes.
Yeah, suddenly a father.
Dictation, journey, adventures.
Indeed. So as Sir Reginald Applebottom mutters to himself about his various things that he would often mutter to himself about, and everyone starts to kind of finish up their restful activities, is there anything you need to do before you continue on your journey here down Tribor Trail?
Well, I want to set up a little nest in the back, like my backpack sitting in the corner, and then leaning against that with my beautiful boots up on the railing.
Okay. And who's going to be driving this cart as we continue on?
Renry. Oh,
Renry?
Yeah.
Renry's comfortable with the animals? Okay.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Sure.
So any other business before you set along the trail?
Sir Reginald will ride alongside with Renry and constantly provide, side driver advice. Watch for the ditch. Look at the rock.
Oh yeah, don't you know? You gotta keep an eye out for all those things.
I feel attacked by this accent.
I love this. I want an entire show of these two characters talking to each other.
So we
hold it together.
So as we go down the trail, it is not quite as well maintained or as well traveled as the high road. Occasionally there are little offshoots into the woods, but nothing marked, nothing that would indicate a lead to civilization, except for the road straight ahead of you, which leads to Phandelver, your destination you're trying to get to here. And as you continue on, the road starts to narrow a little bit. It starts to become a bit more rugged. The sides of the road start to slope away until you seem to be traveling almost through a valley. The Tribord Trail was probably once a creek bed that is now dried up. And the foliage on the sides seems to get thicker, as if it's a little bit harder to see what's ahead. And the road is twisting.
Be careful, incredible foliage.
Oh yeah. Teresa, do you want to keep an eye out on the trees here while I keep an eye on the road?
This is going to find his scouts.
Give us a moment, darling. We must switch to the evening makeup. Pull up my makeup bag and start powering it up.
As Eddie does touch-ups on his magic, or on his makeup, his magic makeup, I'm sure. Is Reginald keeping an eye on the trees?
Reginald is keeping an eye on the trees while sipping his tea.
Great. Reginald, give me a perception check.
Absolutely. Boom.
A roll.
Why isn't it showing up? There we go. Oh, yes. You easily see up high on the banks a rustling in the trees.
What do I see?
Approximately 30 meters ahead of you and high up the bank, you see simply a rustling in the trees.
I see. He sets his tea down and produces his Applebottom family crested axe. And Sir Reginald Theresa Applebottom III sits in his chair, turns to his companion, and says, rustling ambush. Yeah.
Well, all I heard out of that was ambush, so I think with that we gotta keep an eye out for that. Eddie, I think we got some stuff coming up here.
Absolutely, darling. I'm already laying down in the back. And I am flat on the back of the cart.
So everyone's keeping an eye.
I am prone and have partial cover.
Excellent.
Do you continue forward with the cart then?
Cautiously.
Cautiously. Okay, so moving slowly with the cart, as quietly as you can keep a horse. You continue, and around the next bend, you see in the road, stop me if you've heard this one.
Team Growl. Okay.
You see a knoll.
No.
You see 2 dead horses laying there in the middle of the road. Some debris scattered about.
Oh, we should probably check this out, don't you know?
I'll taste my blade.
Was that Ryrie stopping the cart there?
Yes.
Yeah, I just come up over the edge and look and then go back down.
All right. Everybody give me a perception check.
All right. Oof. Well, the guy in the cart's doing great.
You all look around for a bit, but you see nothing besides these dead horses.
I say, step out and stand fight.
I say, darling, why don't we just go past?
Can we get around, or is it blocking?
You may have to drag at least one of the horses out of the way to get around them with the cart.
That's simply not happening.
Eddie, you want to stay in the cart while Teresa and I pull one of these horses out of the way?
I want that very much.
I love
All
that you
right.
call him Teresa.
I'm glad somebody mentioned it because I was going to just not even bring it up.
Yeah, no, I fucking love it. Okay. Pull.
So hop off and go grab one of the horses.
All right, give me a strength check.
And I will assist.
Ooh, okay.
Oh, thank
Renly's
goodness.
Struggling, so I'm glad you're going to go in there and assist. Yeah, just give me a strength check as well.
Sure. Here is my strength. It is a big number. Wait. Oh, there we go.
You both pull at that horse. Renry grabs one of the front legs. We'll say you're doing the one to the left, and Reginald grabs the other, and you both pull, trying to just get it just enough out of the way, but you can't. You can't even budge it.
Strength, copper pot, stapled to the ground.
Hey, I don't see you pulling much harder than I'm pulling, so you got to pull your weight around here.
Just casting prestidigitation on their filthy hands. From sitting in the
Just
cart.
like constantly cleaning them.
Just,
So did Eddie stay back by the cart?
oh, I'm in the cart. Yeah, I was told.
Stay back at the cart. Well, that's pretty good, because suddenly,
I see. This is where I want to be.
yes,
Thank you so much.
We
suddenly,
have to do this every night now. This is just pounding out this.
Yeah, right? We should do this shit all the time. Lost Mine of Phandelver.
an arrow flies from high in the bushes towards Reginald. Reginald, what's your AC?
Reginald's AC is 17.
And it does miss.
Better than that.
Oh, I'm sorry, hold on. This needs to be more dramatic. It's the first time I ever got to say this. Roll initiative!
Woo.
I roll my -1 initiative. Okay. We need to stop copying each other, Henry.
I mean, right? So, wait, I gotta figure out what the Goblins initiative add-on doesn't matter. Okay, good enough.
Is there a map for this?
There is not a map for this.
Oh,
Well
that's right,
then,
there isn't, yeah.
we shall theater of the mind.
So we are winging this. All right. So first up are going to be Renry and Reginald. Do you guys have tiebreakers on your sheets there?
We're both -1, dude. So
Yeah.
like,
Awesome. Great. I'm going to say since Reginald took the getting shot at first, we're going to do Reginald and then Renry. And then we got some goblin-y boys. And then Eddie.
right.
And more goblin-y boys.
All right.
Alrighty.
So
First up in the initiative order, Reginald, you just got shot at from the right bank.
Do I see any of these goblin-y boys, or am I just...
Well, as your very quick initiative reaction allowed you to look up at where it was coming from, and you do see a goblin disappearing about, realistically, it's about 20 feet from you.
Okay. Cowards, family blade, George. And he runs up the bank and brandishing his greatsword. And runs up to them, and then he comes down with this, he does a swing with his greatsword. No doubt terrifying this goblin, in which the common is even more incomprehensible than before.
This goblin thinks you're speaking goblin at first and listens very closely to try to figure out what you're saying. But then, yes, quickly is thrown off by being attacked by that great weapon right there.
Oh, that great weapon got a 12. What's its AC?
That great weapon did not hit that there goblin.
Warning shots.
Which is, yeah, that's kind of especially bad, because as you run up there, Renry, you see just as he gets into the brush a little bit to make his run at this bow shooting goblin, out pops behind him, about halfway between you and the other goblins. So we'll say 10 feet from you and about 10 feet from Reginald there. A goblin with a sword, and starts running at Reginald from behind. Simultaneously, over on the left bank, come out two goblins. One shooting an arrow, and one holding a bow, and the other one holding a sword and running down towards you. Renry, what do you do?
I'm going to look at the goblin that just popped out behind my dear friend Theresa, and I'm gonna shout out, "May the light a doing." That's not the right accent. I'm gonna cast Sacred Flame, and hopefully that rolled. Yeah.
All right.
So.
Cool. Okay, so wait, it's got to make a dex save?
Save?
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's see if he can survive those sacred flames.
Yep.
Oh, that goblin jumps out of the way just before the sacred flame hits.
Ah! And then I will turn and go to meet the two running up.
Okay.
Miss Copperpot, ambush all around.
Well, don't you know, you gotta keep an eye on them goblins.
This accent is pushing me over the edge. Okay, hold on. The goblin with the sword that is right by Reginald takes a swing.
Goblin with the sword,
and
coming to cut Rich down.
He misses.
Not today, Goblin.
Swing. Not today, Goblin.
Apple bottom strength.
Get the strength that I had apple bottom. Meanwhile, Eddie, what are you doing as you see all this unfold?
I watch all the fuss over there, and then I look over to the left. The two of them that are coming down the hill, are they within 20 feet of each other?
Yes.
Okay. Just look up at them and say, nighty night, and cast sleep on the two of them.
Okay.
So yeah, but that should put them both to sleep.
As they're running down this embankment, they both suddenly, Renry, you see this because you're running towards them. You see they both suddenly look in the direction of the cart and then go limp and tumble the rest of the way down to the embankment and land on the road.
And Jill came tumbling after.
And it was going to be their turn, but they're asleep. So
duck down back in behind the seat of the cart.
And I have to double check on how the sleep. How do they get out of the
It would be
spell?
up to you whether falling down the hill woke them up. If they take damage or someone shakes or slaps them awake, they wake up. So You would
There's
be
no,
entirely within your rights for them to wake up as their face planted coming down that hill.
Do they have a check each turn to wake up though, or is this you
Nope.
maintaining
If they
concentration?
miss, it's a minute if they don't wake up.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you.
Picture it like those guys that you get from like the quarter machines that have the stickies on the feet and the legs, and they just flip back and
Right. Now, so a little meta. If you were playing for the first time at home with first-time players, you probably look it up in the book, but we don't want to make you watch that. So I just asked the DMs.
Yeah, I'm sure one of us probably knows.
Right. So yeah, so it's not a very steep hill. So they don't tumble down hard and they don't manage to hit their head on anything. So they're both out. And we are back at the top of the round with the other goblin-y boys. Arrow Boy is now right in front of you, about 3 feet away. So he's going to take a point blank shot. And that is going to be a 16 hit your AC.
No, my AC is 17.
So he takes this point blank shot, but at the last moment, you kind of like move to the side just enough for it to glance off your little bit of armor, and move into the swing of the other guy with his scimitar, who does hit you with
Sir Reginald.
I know, right?
This level
Oof.
1, this could be all over.
Yeah, this could be the end of Sir Reginald.
With 8 points of damage.
Oh shit. Sir Reginald's down to 4.
Oh no.
Man, I'm glad it wasn't somebody else. Shit. Okay.
Yeah, that would have killed me. Well, knocked me
Killed
out.
other members of the party.
All right. So, Reginald, it is your turn.
Oh, just flesh wounds. Twain. He's going to swing at the one that cut him.
Excellent.
Knock 2 teeth out, so now we can understand.
I want to roll a real dice because I still think I'm in the DM seat.
Yeah.
There we go.
Real dice.
That's a fucking
There you
number.
go. That hits him. You. What kind of swing do you take here?
He is going to take an upward swing. Like he's got it down from the last one. He's like, blade.
Mm-hmm. And like butter.
The mumbling and the muttering never stops. Like it's just constant.
Like a hot knife through butter. Upwards comes the great axe, cleaving the goblin in twain, each side falling apart and tumbling down the embankment as it oozes goblin ooze.
All right, and I will take a bonus action and second wind myself.
Oh, all right. Is this some fighter shit, I'm guessing?
Yeah, this is some fighter shit.
It's a fighter
Yo,
thing.
love it. What does the second wind do?
I regain 1d10 plus my fighter level in HP.
That's
So
a
6
well-used
these days.
thing there. Okay. Renry.
Once per short rest, right?
Yep.
You've just seen Reginald dodge in a point blank arrow, cleave a goblin in twain, and then recover from a flesh wound as if it were nothing.
Oh, mediocre.
All right. And there's still the arrow and the sword goblin.
So the sword goblin that was near Reginald is now in 2 pieces and dead.
All right.
On the road. The sword goblin is up there, and both of the goblins from the left embankment are asleep in the road.
I will.
This is supposed to be a deadly encounter for 5 people.
5 people, not 3 DMs.
I was gonna nerf this too.
I'm going to turn and look at the goblin with the bow and arrow and say, "Oh, now don't you go hurting my friends there." And I will cast Inflict Wounds.
Oh, this goblin's going to be... Oh, this is so bad.
Okay. I'm not even.
Oh, damn!
41 points of damage to a goblin.
What goblin? It's like the snap happened and it was
crater.
just the goblin.
Reginald, you see, just as you cleave the sword goblin in twain, your companion here, Renry, runs up the embankment, dives around you, and just gets a hand on the arrow goblin, just as he's getting an arrow out, about to stab you. And basically it melts. The goblin just turns into a pile of goo just as you turn back to it, and starts to trickle down the embankment to join its brother as a pile of goo.
Yeah, chat says you cast inflict soup.
Yeah,
it's just like there's a moment where he's still alive and the touch happens and the realization of what's about to happen hits him.
Loses
He's
cohesion and just sort of melts. Yeah.
we are essentially out of initiative now, because
Good work, team.
you've got 2 sleeping goblins on the road, a couple of dead horses. What are you gonna do?
Well, we don't plan on leaving those 2 just sleeping there, do we? And I jump off and walk over and put one finger in each ear of the goblin. And if no one stops me, I'll cast Ray of Frost.
Oh God! I call this one the brain freeze.
Oh, but is it possible to miss with your fingers in their ears? Did I shoot my own finger?
I'm gonna say no.
How did you acknowledge that?
Is anyone gonna stop him from?
No. Reginald. These are paltry creatures in the face of. They didn't even provide a decent challenge.
Is Ray of Frost an attack roll, or is it just happens?
It is actually an attack roll. Yeah, I rolled a 1. Yeah.
So you can go ahead and make that with advantage.
Oh, yes, I
try
would, 'cause
again
he
for
is
a number
unconscious,
higher
right?
than 1.
Yeah. He's
He is
unconscious. You get your
technically
fingers
unconscious, yes.
touching his ears.
This is slightly better.
That's a little bit higher number than
It's
1.
a goblin.
I mean, honestly, this is you melt the thing's fucking brain. I mean, or you freeze it. Basically, Eddie sticks his fingers into the ears. Nobody says anything. So, in a moment of just purple glitter shooting off of his hands into the goblin's face, the goblin's entire head freezes into one solid chunk of ice or crystal.
So,
If I wanted to save the skin, I'm hoping to make boots out of it.
seeing this happen,
From the neck down, it's still pretty much in shape. So
Reginald goes up to the second one, puts his great axe onto the ground, kneels in front of it. Opponent, execution, and then swings his axe down on the creature.
okay, you have just chop the other goblin's head off. A clean execution on a sleeping, totally innocent goblin.
Yeah, I checked my alignment first. It says chaotic good. I can do this. This is allowed.
Yeah, fuck it. Why not? I don't care.
No, look. The prayer beforehand is important.
It made it all right. What would Wormspit say?
All right. So everybody give me a perception check.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
This means I'm going to roll a 1 too.
This is what it's like rolling ones. I hate this.
Oh, wait, no. I didn't, but
It's
I'm still
fine.
on advantage, so I'm on the wrong thing.
Somebody noticed. So, Eddie, as the others are cleaning goo off their various extremities and implements, you notice up to the left, sort of in the direction where the goblins that you put to sleep were, there's a little bit of a trail going back there. Other than that, you've got dead horses, dead goblins, and a delivery to make. What do you do?
Shall we be all heroic and clear the road?
Well,
by we, I mean the 2 of you.
well, if we're gonna get on through here, we're gonna have to clear this road, don't you know?
Well, there's a little path up here. Shall we use the horses to block it?
Smaller danger. Next group.
I'll take that as a yes. I'll hold your horse.
Or do we need to go and check out and see if the folks who belong to these horses might be up in dragged away up that path? there any sign that like folks got dragged away or anything?
Do a perception check.
Ba-doop-ba-doop.
Actually, no, investigation.
All right.
Or,
Aw.
well, it's more of I'm still gonna say it's enough. You do
It's a
see
17, yeah.
after looking more closely at the path, you do see some footprints, little goblin-y footprints, some drag marks, and some blood leading down that trail.
Well, Doohan would want us to go on up there and rescue anyone if they're up there. So that's my vote. But there are 3 of us, so
I'm
majority
shoving the-
wins.
I'm shoving the headless goblin in a bag and look at her and say, well, yes, perhaps a pair of gloves to go with the shoes.
It's about this time, Renry, that you also notice, because I've totally forgotten to mention things, that one of these horses is definitely the horse of your good friend Gunn Drin.
Oh, then we definitely we gotta go because I know this horse. This horse belongs to a buddy of mine, and if he's up there, then I would like.
They all know who Gunn Drin is. He sent you on this mission.
Well, technically, you knew the horse.
Well, not in that way, but I've seen it around.
There's a jingling as he walks away.
Rescue friendship paramount.
How is it that every single place I go, it's full of bloody wannabe heroes? Can't anybody just leave anything alone? Well, you're not leaving me down here by myself.
Want to be.
I'm not even a want-to-be, darling. I'm a want-to-not-be.
I
want to not be here, but-
Very well. Stand behind. Yes.
You first, then.
Yeah. Well, how about Theresa? You go on in the front, and then Eddie in the middle, and I'll come back in the rear. So if anybody comes up, they don't stab Eddie in the back.
Can't hear you.
Yes.
So we do at least have the Sword Coast map. Hold on. So we're looking at something here. That should have moved it over. Okay. So you're going down the trail.
All right.
And you said, I'm sorry, Reginald in the front. Followed by-
Reginald is quite in front.
And then was Eddie in the middle?
Yes.
We're making an Eddie sandwich.
And Renry in the
And
back.
we've only just met.
Oh,
Hey.
welcome to Mercs of Mischief After Dark.
Saturday Night Fever.
Perfect timing,
Mercs
Misty
of
21.
Mischief. Welcome, Misty. You've just come into the softer zone. Nah, just kidding. Somebody's gonna hear is gonna die. So as
Almost
you-
assuredly, it's gonna be Reggie.
So you go down this trail too narrow to take your cart with you, unfortunately. So I suppose you just tie it up here along Tribord Trail, leaving the dead horses there to be the next person's problem. But, with any luck, they'll think it's a trap and won't loot your cart. So as you continue down the trail,
You probably should
Reginald,
have used the horses to pull the dead horses, don't you think? Wouldn't that have made more sense than getting your hands all dirty?
Oh, that's a good idea there.
Hindsight.
You just keep walking, sir. Just keep walking. The view from back here is acceptable.
so it's much thicker here as we go down this trail.
It's almost total blackness.
It's very difficult to navigate down, and it's difficult, for me to figure out how to use Roll20 as a DM for the first time. Let me see if I can do that for you
I
here.
had to ask Evan.
Wait, here. All right, wait. There, now can you see it?
I can see
Yeah.
Vandalen.
Ooh.
You can see something. Okay, that's good. All right.
I
So
have no
figured out the right
control
way to do
over
it.
these.
No, it's fine. It's good. It's all good. It's all
I'm
good.
gonna move
Okay,
mine around. It's fine.
so as you continue down, Reginald, give me a perception check. Mhm.
Yeah. Where's my fucking sheet? There we go. Okay, I got it. It's coming up. Oh, perception.
Proceed.
Disappeared.
Oh,
Okay. You notice ahead of you, there's a spot where the kind of leaves and debris clear out a little bit, and then there's suddenly a small, thin pile of leaves there in the middle of the trail. Seems a
oh,
little suspicious.
this does seem suspicious. Can I investigate these leaves?
You can, and I'm not even going to make you roll for it. As you get closer, you can see there's a rope leading out of it to the side. This was obviously some kind of snare trap set up to catch somebody walking.
So
down there.
I see the snare trap.
Mhm.
I'm going to turn to my party, look them in the eyes, and say, trickery. Then I keep walking around it.
This area is
quick
called
note to our
Cragmore.
producer, Ashley, on the Roll20 map, you can zoom out, zoom in, reposition, that sort of stuff, and then take a look at what's
Well, it might
the
not
output
show her
is.
anything if she doesn't have a character on the map. You have to
Oh,
assign
right.
control of one of the tokens to her.
Okay, thank you. I didn't,
Give her character a token.
yeah,
or,
all right.
So if you just
Hold
pick
on.
one of our tokens and make it so it's also can be seen and controlled by her,
Okay, great.
then it'll
We'll do this then.
give it view on the map. She might have to reload it, but
represents character. No, it's not
to
what
the
I
right
want.
side of that should be C and edit. You should just be able to give her C.
Is that advanced? Hold on. Or do I have to click on you in the journal? Do I have to click on your character in the journal? Edit here.
No,
Can
just
be.
you just pick one of our tokens and go to. Can I do it? No, I can't do it from. Oh, it sucks not having any power.
you have no control.
I'm
You have
not.
no powers here.
So
I've only
I
have
pick your
one
token.
page of shit I can do to my token. This is awful.
I see represents character name.
Yeah, and then there's the check mark for shows character name, and
Show
then
name, please.
across from that it should say can be seen by, and then the next bar under is can be edited by.
I don't have that.
Oh no.
It's okay. We got another way to do this. Hold on.
Just quickly make a character, assign it to her, and put a token out.
Yes.
That works too.
We'll just stick you out here. We'll give her this. No, it's not working. It's not working. It's not even drawing stuff on the map.
Well, if you
gotta
trust
go to
us
the
not to metagame at all, you can just open up.
I mean,
the,
we all
the
know what the
screen
map looks
and
like.
just
So
turn
yeah,
off
you can
the-
just.
How do I open up the? Okay, wait here. Let me just do
So
that.
the little
Let me-
blue-
yeah,
the little
reveal
blue one.
areas. Okay, there.
Open it up.
It's
and
not going to
then-
matter till we get to the Goblin hideout, but you all know what's in every room of that anyway, so it doesn't fucking matter,
We've all been here before.
right?
We'll just sketch out the map on a piece of paper. We all know it. Yeah.
Okay. Reveal areas. Whatever. Hopefully everybody can see it. Whatever. Let's move on with the game.
Yeah.
Okay,
Just keep it in
so
mind. They don't need to know.
Reginald walks around the snare trap and mumbles however much of that you guys understood.
So I'll leave that up to you guys.
Would I know that this area is called Cragmaw?
Where are you from?
Well, the reason I ask is because if this is Cragmaw, I am starting to look for the ruins of a castle.
Ooh.
There has been
As backstory.
this is
Not mine,
you,
the one that came with wizards.
you know this is the approximate area of the Cragmar Castle. What exactly that is not really known. People don't know whether it's Cragmar was an empire that once existed that was held by this castle, or whether it was given that name for some other reason. But Eugenio, this is the general area where Cragmar Castle is. And legend says, at least recent legends, that it's been taken over by goblins with black fletched arrows. Yes, black fletched arrows, just like the ones that these goblins had.
Oh no.
Yeah. So are we all just walking around that and continuing on, leaving it as is?
Oh yeah, I'll make my way around it.
Yeah, and probably for the first time, Eddie actually looks like he gives a shit about this. He is now marching up the hill.
All right.
Still following the big shiny one, but I am.
Eddie is emboldened. He is following the shiny people. As you continue along, I imagine Reginald's still in the lead.
Yeah, Reginald's still taking up the lead. He's going
All
to
right.
move forward, axe in hand, at the ready.
Let's do another perception check.
Jingle deception.
Sir Reginald and Renry, you both see, again, a very poorly hidden spot in the middle of the trail. This one, it's not so much a pile of leaves as just leaves that are exactly at the same level as the ground.
The perfect rectangle of leaves.
Right?
Perfect rectangle of leaves.
Just like, it's just right there. And they're like a single layer, but you can't see the ground through it. And you're like, come on, man.
So Reginald moves his axe in a fanning motion at the leaves.
Our map is up.
Okay.
There we go.
As he fans the leaves away, it reveals a very light kind of crosshatch of sticks over a pit.
Get up early in the morning, apple bottoms.
Yeah, it's a good thing these goblins aren't super great at hiding their traps, though.
Nah, these are some pretty dumbass, lazy goblins, apparently.
Or maybe
But-
Reginald's just brilliant. I'm just
Maybe
going to throw that out there.
Eagle-eyed and brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, he is.
So it's idiotic goblins then. Understood.
He is the third in a long, prestigious line of apple bottoms.
It's hard to believe the first two generations lasted long enough to procreate.
Sass blade.
Fantastic. Renry, you start to notice with your 15 perception check, you also notice some more of those drag marks and a little bit less blood. You can tell you're on the right track, but whatever was wounded either did a lot of bleeding back there or not much at all. Kind of hard to say at this point.
Well, it looks like we're going in the right direction. So, but we probably should hurry up because I'm seeing less blood here. So maybe they are getting worse.
You should
Rest
clean up though. Did you get
Well,
any on your
it's-
hands?
But they're bleeding on the dirt, so you don't really need to clean the dirt off the blood.
All right then, sure. I just won't walk there.
Gentlemen, double chime. And Reginald begins moving a bit faster.
As you do, you start to come up to a clearing in the trail where you notice a whole bunch of stuff you shouldn't see yet. But it's
That's
fine.
supposed to all be hidden.
Great.
Supposed to be.
But you notice
That's okay. We can't move our tokens either.
the clearing opens up into you. Oh, you can't move your tokens either.
No, we can't move. Oh,
I can move
nobody.
mine,
I can't move mine.
but I'm that guy. That's part of what I did was I actually
okay.
brought my own token into the game because I'm that
Oh,
guy. That's
I
part of
see
the way
what
I'm
you
messing
did.
with him. See, I'm meta messing with him.
Yeah.
Let me
The
make
weird
sure
part
this
is
is-
I've
Okay,
got
hold
two
on.
of me here. Oh no,
Okay, hold
I can
on.
move. Why did I have to? What did you
I
do?
totally had
I've
this
got
set
two.
up.
Oh, I see. Let me get rid of this guy. Oh, I can't.
Yeah, I don't have.
Okay, I can move
What
now.
did you do? Oh wait, no, hold on. That's
You have 2 of my token, one that came with the game and the other one that
That's
I gave you, but we don't
fine.
have
We're gonna do
a
this. Hold on.
we don't have a Renry token.
Okay, we do now.
All right.
Henry, can you move
Cool.
that? Can you move that one in
Yeah.
the river?
Yep.
Okay.
Hey, there we
okay,
go.
Great. So you're there. So you come up on the thing, and you totally can't see through those bushes over there.
No, I have no
On the other
idea
side of
what's
the
here.
river. Great.
I mean, I, the player, knows, but Reginald has no clue what's around.
No, you don't. You come up and you see there the little creek, and across the creek is some thick bushes and shrubberies and stuff. You can't even see through there. But then over to your left, where the creek is coming out of, is the opening to a cave. So it seems, shockingly enough.
So, is there a check that Sir Reginald can make to see if he takes a look at this situation and this layout and reads it as this is a goblin hold?
Give me a good old perception check.
Okay.
No, actually, you know what? Give me a nature check.
Oh,
Can you spot a goblin hold in nature?
look at you getting fancy with the
Right?
checks. I will spot a goblin hold in nature as soon as I find out where that is. Get my +0 on.
So you're not totally certain, but like context, baby. This is obviously a goblin hold.
Suspicious ambush.
I'm
Going
more worried
this
about
way.
trying to walk in there with these heels.
Yeah, and you even notice that there's some drag marks going up in there. So do you approach the mouth of the cave or the river? What are you doing? Where are you going?
Reginald is going to gesture to Renry. Ingress.
I can't.
I believe he wants to go first. Do you braid your own beard?
I do.
Oh, it's lovely. It's a little bent at the bottom, but lovely, lovely.
Oh,
we try-
well,
try
you
and
know,
straighten it out?
I guess Teresa, if you want to go in first, then yeah, I can keep up the rear and.
We're going in now.
Wash my back.
Are you going to approach this area with stealth?
He is approaching with all of his stealth and guile. Not a portion. Not 5%, not 10%, 100%.
All
Both
of it.
Both of his guiles.
Yeah, both of his stealth and guiles, which is a 3.
Which is a 3.
So he is, and the problem is he's muttering the entire time. Shan't see me.
And
Goblin heads, walls, decorations.
And we thusly establish a theme as an arrow flies out of the woods towards Reginald.
Reginald's gonna die right now.
No, it's a little far off,
Okay.
and it misses. Roll initiative.
Get my dice every time. Hey, I don't suppose, Renry's got any of them like heelajigs kicking around.
She would, but she can't understand it when you ask for it.
Yeah. Go on, fellow.
No, I didn't see your family in the paper last week. Really?
Okay, so Eddie, as you see this going on, what do you do?
Oh dear.
The arrow fly out of there, and then you look over and you can instantly see where it came from, and you also notice a goblin running kind of along the edge of the trees towards the cave.
Oh, a little target practice then, and just Ray of Frost, the one that's running past, because I like a challenge. Go for the moving target. Doesn't matter if it hits.
All right.
It slightly chills one ear.
So the goblin receives need to put on a jacket damage.
It hits him, but it is enough to slow him down. It's this guy right there. This one's shooting from the trees. Pew pew
Pew pew.
All done being brave, and I step
is-
back behind the
Yes.
cleric.
It is enough to slow him down and hold him there. Reginald.
Reginald is going to advance. Fiend, Sir Reginald Theresa Applebottom III. Swing.
Swing.
And the axe swing comes. Well, we're going to go with a horizontal swing, just straight across.
Nice.
Nice and clean.
Like cricket.
Yes. So
Did I get him?
his slightly crystallized ear is where the axe makes contact first. And so there's at first a shatter and then kind of a squish as it cuts the top of his head clean off, which kind of goes flying over there.
Worthy
And-
opponent. Well,
And the arrow goblin takes another shot at you because you're clearly the biggest problem here. And 18 beats your armor class?
it does.
It does. And does 4 damage
Okay. I am
with that arrow. as
back
it
down to
strikes
6
you
HP.
in the shoulder. And Renry is up. There is
There we
now
go.
just
Now
the
my token
one-
more accurately reflects the dire straits I'm in.
There you go. There's now just the one goblin in the bushes still alive.
I'm gonna do an
And I can
intimidate
see
check
it.
with his voice.
And yeah, now at this point you can see it. There's been enough
All right.
shenanigans going on that it has become very easy to see.
Well, don't you know the light of doing is gonna come and get you? And I will cast Sacred Flame.
Sacred flame. The light of doing does not. Oh wait, it's a dex save. Oh, I
Yeah.
thought it does. I love it. Okay. Nope, definitely does not. This is a nimble little archer goblin, and it sidesteps out of the way.
All right, and
And we're back at the top with that. Or unless you got something else.
I was just going to move up. Move up to here.
Okay.
I'm staring him straight in the face.
Just run up to him and be like,
Straight
what?
down.
What? Stare him right in the eyes because
Actually-
you're a dwarf.
I was gonna say, you're still
As
looking
we-
down at him. This isn't a common thing for you at all, but yeah, you're still looking down at goblins.
And we come to our fabulous wizard.
Yes. Looks at his finger, shakes it, tries again.
Pew, pew.
Is this a
Just
cantrip?
picture him doing
Oh,
it
yeah,
like
this is a
that every time.
cantrip, yeah.
Great. I love it. Yes, that one will hit it. And once again, with as it hits, a stream of purple glitter flies out of
Oh, yeah.
Eddie's finger, and the purple glitter ray strikes the goblin, instantly turning it into crystal, which is just frozen in place, frozen to the ground. And we're out of
That's a
initiative.
disaster. In fact, it's a crystal math.
Ah!
Yes.
Sorry, my inner geek got out there.
There you go. And so,
Bhutan's controlled substance enthusiast.
for sure. So with one goblin with the top of its head cut off, again, you guys have got some real gross goblin piles going on here. And the other one frozen as a statue.
Goblin piles? That's
Yeah.
horrible.
Yeah. How do you proceed?
So is the top of the goblin skull still resting on Reginald's axe?
No, I think because part of it was a little frozen on the one side where you hit, there was more kind of impact. So it sort of popped off and flew to the side. And as it tumbled through the air, it stuck to the tree brain side down, basically. So it's like
always.
stuck.
They always
Stuck
Always
onto
brain
it,
side down.
right? It always lands
It
brain
never
side down.
fails.
So
When you're
it's
making
almost,
a brain and peanut butter sandwich and it drops, it's every single time.
So it's stuck to a tree about 5 feet away over.
Okay,
to the
well.
left, but wait, is
Right.
Reginald right or left-handed?
Sir Reginald is right-handed.
Okay, so yeah, on the tree to your left.
Okay, well, Sir Reginald Theresa Applebottom III will not engage in a macabre puppet show.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out a way to jump across this little creek from dry side to dry side without having to walk across it because it's going to ruin my shoes.
Give me an athletics check.
Well, before you do that,
Athletics.
Sir Reginald walks up beside you and says,
Or acrobatics.
and he offers out his hand to you.
Oh,
Careful with
all
the
right.
hands, but all right. And let him hand me across.
So I make an acrobatics check with advantage.
I love it if you fall still while he's
Even
doing
with the help. Oh, here we go.
Oh,
Okay. you take his hand reluctantly and then gracefully leap like a gazelle
And
in
don't
heels
land in the goblin goo.
across without landing in the goblin.
and it's such a tight space, and there's like the
Yeah.
brains of the goblin up against the cave wall, so you're just like really close to it, but you're trying not to touch it.
Prestidigitation, 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 prestidigitation. Just all around me.
Just like the horrified
Constantly.
wide eyes is this part of
Yep.
it.
Not on this coat. This coat is felt.
Yes, you prestidigitize away all of the goblin goop that is threatening to ruin your outfit.
Today,
And yeah, what are we gonna do now? You can see now, Renry. There's definitely as it kind of narrows in, it was clear that the drag marks stop at the one side of the river and then pop out on the other side on the right, just at the entrance to the cave.
Well, it looks like they took him on through here, so we should probably keep on going.
onward, rescue friend.
Well, I know you can see in the dark, but how about you, big fella?
No.
Ah,
So, do I need to go first then?
Doth I have a torch? Well, yeah, you know what? You go first. You can see in the dark. You go.
So you probably all have torches, but yes, what's going to be our marching order?
So Renry will be first.
Okay. I don't even have a torch. I got nothing. I got like
I call
tinder
third.
rocks,
yeah, I don't have one either, but I got night visions or
a
dark visions.
purse. I imagine it.
I have a
it's
torch.
Eddie's.
Oh, there you go.
Renry will have a hand over go. Oh, I don't think I'm going to need this, but just in case, here you go.
Thank you very much.
All right. And as you make your way into this cave, we will take a break for a
Yep.
short bit. And when we come back, we'll tell you about everything coming up on the channel and dive back into this adventure where everybody can see everybody that's in every room already, but it's fine because we're not medical.
We basically.
I'm learning to use roll 20
see
at
it
the
all
same time I'm learning
anyways.
to. Yes, for those of you who are just joining us or are joining us late, just before we go all the way to break, here's a little recap of what we're doing. This is my first time ever DMing, so we're going straight out of the starter set. My 3 players here are very experienced game masters of all sorts, and so they are being gentle on me so far. We'll see how that goes once we get into the where everything starts to get wild. It's also my first time using Roll20 as a DM. Also, this is the first broadcast, our apprentice producer, who is doing a great job so far. Thank you, Tech Critter. She is an experienced streamer, but has never done a whole, big production
that we do.
like we do with all these crazy sources and shit going on. So we're all doing some fun, but thank you so much for joining us. And we're going to be back in about 15 to 20 minutes to see if all of these folks can survive the cave. And we're back. Welcome back. I think that video started partially way through it, but it's all good. So for those of you just joining us, welcome back to Tableflip, the game where amateurs get put under the gun and have to do stuff that they don't normally do. For example, this is my first time ever being a DM, and just to show you how the worst it could possibly be, I've got 3 very experienced DMs here who are ready to give me the business as we get into the meatier portion of the starter set adventure, Lost Mine of Phandelver. But before we get into any of that, this is a very big week, not just because this is my first time DMing, but we got a lot going on. So tomorrow and Monday, we are doing our second ever crossover event for our 2 shows, the Mercenaries of Mischief and Too Many Warlocks, which are DM'd by Puck, Lord of Chaos.
Who's that guy?
And yeah, right? Who's that guy?
I don't ever heard of him.
They're 2 games that take place in the same world. A lot of the stuff that happens in one game affects the other one, and we've done a crossover once before. Starting tomorrow, and then again Monday, we're going to be in a crossover in the city of Waterdeep, which should get interesting. So be sure not to miss that. Then on Thursday, we have our premiere of our newest show, which I don't know if we're giving it a name besides Clockwork Dominion, because we can kind of get away with using that name because we have the creator who you just saw in the break, Zeke Coughlin, is going to be the GM for the game that he created here on our show. First time he's ever done that broadcast. Well, actually, the first time was at Gen Con when I broadcast one of his demo sessions. So that is very exciting. It is a steampunk gothic horror set in Victorian regular world with the addition of extra technology and a little bit of magic. So be sure to catch that. And then next week on Monday, we have a very, very special guest star. All of our guest stars are special, but this one's like
It's pretty special.
pretty
It's a
exciting.
little special.
Joining the Warlocks on Too Many Warlocks, we have Joe Cat of YouTube fame, best known for his crap guide to D&D and crap guide to Monster Hunter World. So if you are a fan of YouTube D&D content, you may be familiar with him, and you may never have seen him play before live on a stream. So there will be an opportunity for that.
Yes. Nothing. That was more ominous than intended.
I mean,
You did that out loud, you know that, right?
Right. Thank you,
Thanks.
Appalachian Paladin.
right?
I'm surprised I got that on the first try.
Yeah, okay. So with that, without further ado, we'll dive back into our story here. Where our 3 adventurers.
Oh, yes, well, moving forward.
Indeed. Where our 3 adventurers, led by actually, wait, who is leading at this point? Is it still
It-
Oh,
it
don't you know
was-
that was me?
Yeah, Renry
Right.
was.
read by Renry, the dwarven cleric, who can see a little bit better than our intrepid, impossible to understand nobleman, with Eddie Wizard, the fabulous person who would
It's
rather not.
Wizard.
Oh, sorry, Eddie Wizard, the fabulous elven individual who would rather not be here, except for now he thinks this might be where he needs to be
Mhm.
Oh ho.
based on some things he's doing. And they are entering a cave where they believe a body may have been dragged into as they search for their acquaintance,
Oh, everybody needs somebody sometimes.
right? Gunn Drin Rockseeker. And they're hoping to find him in here. As you enter the cave, the first thing that hits you is the smell. It's dank, mushroomy. It's a cave. But on top of that, there's a smell of rot that doesn't quite come with the forest. It's the smell of rotting meat. And having been already looking for a goblin lookout, a couple of you think like, yeah, that's pretty indicative of some goblin situation going on. You hear the echo of the stream as it comes out through the cave, feeding the stream we see on our map there. And you also hear a rattling of chains echoing not too far away.
I-
And then suddenly a sounding like it's
Well
pretty
done.
near the entrance.
Well done, sir.
Thank you.
I think they've got guard chihuahuas.
Animals.
Well, then we should probably be on our quietest that we possibly can be.
Puppies, squishy face, would you woo?
Or well, if they're guard dogs, they're probably more the like bite your face off than like squish their face kind of thing.
Tame master of beasts, Sir Reginald Theresa, Applebottom the Third.
And I pulled out a perfume lace hanky from inside my décolletage and wrapped it around the bottom half of my face.
So Renry is going to like try and tiptoe forward into the cave and get a sense of what's in here.
As she tiptoes forward with her dark vision, she can see just to the right a few uneven stone steps leading up to an opening with there seems to be a torch lit in the back, but it doesn't seem like this room is lit for use. It's more like a nightlight.
Okay. I'm gonna
Anything
check.
interesting, dear?
There's a little bit of a light back there, but not like somebody's using it.
Is she taking a look into the room?
Yes.
Comes up around there.
Already born.
As
yes,
she-
yes, away from that torch you're carrying, yes. And I wiggle along the side, like trying not to get my feet wet.
Reginald just walks in the water.
Deftly protecting the finish on his boots, Eddie Wizard creeps along the ledge there.
They're purple
Renry-
sequins. You cannot clean that shit.
I mean, I'm saying, you know. Well, you can. You have.
I can.
prestidigitation,
You theoretically, you're the only person who can.
right? That's okay. This brings up a good question. Why has nobody just learned prestidigitation and opened a dry cleaners?
I
Well,
know.
look, I mean, we got to open this up in world.
Okay. All right. Well,
I think this ends with
We can teach a handful of
Eddie
goblins.
Wizard's dry cleaning service.
there you go. Okay. So as she peeks around the corner, she's being quite stealthy and silent as far as the rest of you can tell. But suddenly the noise stops. And as she takes a look around, she can see 3 wolves chained up to the wall. And they are looking directly back at you, Renry. And the one closest in the middle starts to slowly walk forwards as his chain tightens and gets into a low growl.
Pulls the other two together.
Okay, now just be nice now. I'm not here to hurt ya. So, it's just, I'm going to pull out some, like a handful of rations from my bag and be like, good boy. Okay, you're going to go lay down and you're going to go eat these. And I'm just going to throw it as hard as I can into the back of the cave.
Okay, it runs after those as well as do the other 2. And they begin to fight over it and make a bunch of wolfy fighting sounds.
Oh, it's children, is it? Right, let's keep going.
Yeah, we might want to get by them before they finish up with those rations.
Yeah, walk past and look in.
They are
I've got
thoroughly
night vision too. I mean, don't get me wrong. A little fur ruff on the goblin boots would be nice, but probably we'll get them on the way.
Can Sir Reginald see them in the torchlight that's in that room?
You can definitely see what's going on back there, yeah.
As Sir Reginald passes, he looks wistfully at the wolves viciously fighting over the rations with large eyes. Max for you soon, my babies. Release my acres.
Okay. I don't know how to interpret that.
It's okay. None of us speak Reginald. It's all right.
Why don't you just tell me what he does next?
That perfectly encapsulates this character. No, I like it better this way. Let's go.
Yeah. So what does he do next?
He just keeps on following the party, but he looks wistfully at them. He's just, I was lad, boy, the finest hounds, bottom wingers.
As you're doing that, as the other two pass, and you're kind of lingering, looking through the door, this wolf, the northernmost wolf here, the smallest one, but still a wolf, but
the smallest wolf boy.
The kind of wolf that gets pushed away from a fresh morsel of meat thrown into the mix. He sort of looks back towards you, and for a moment you make eye contact. And he cocks his head sideways.
Oh, this is 100% animal handling check for Sir Reginald. Well, in which he has a 1.
Okay.
Not bad.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
The wolf straightens out its head and starts growling at you again.
Rations tossed his way because he's not getting any.
All right.
But he understands that there are more important things at stake. Although he loves these adorable, good boys and will teach them the finer things, the time cannot be now.
I don't think that's the Mercs of Mischief way. You're supposed to abandon the world-ending consequences and save the dog. Come on.
Sir Reginald Theresa Applebottom III has a name to uphold.
Thank God. And a hell of a name it is. So you continue on down the pathway, and to your left, now you can see there's another opening. This one kind of at a little bit of an incline, a lot of loose gravel and rubble around there. But Renry, as you clear that corner, you also see down the path a bit further, about 30, 40 feet, there's a bridge going across. And at first glance, it kind of looks like it's just a rope bridge going from a cave wall to a cave wall, but you notice there's definitely an opening on each side. And it's above the path you're on.
Okay, so there's this thing off to the left here, and then there's a bridge up forward. So what do you think, where should we go?
And this one goes up like this at the side, so it angles up, yeah. Okay.
Yes, up to the left. It's in kind of a steep angle. Definitely walkable. Might be a little tricky in those boots, but
It's a 2-story walk-up, darling. The latest fashion.
Sir Reginald goes up here and he's going to make a perception check to try to listen in both directions to see if he can have some indication of which way to go.
Okay. Give me that perception check.
This is not his first cave-dwelling excursion.
He's got a bit of spelunking under his belt. And
no, he's a career adventurer.
Everybody give me a stealth check as well.
Oh no, that's the opposite of my expertise.
Yeah.
It's just funny how he said that at exactly. Oh wow.
Oh shit.
Funny you said that at exactly the same time the words "ha ha" showed up on the map. Oh wow. Just not good all around.
Oh no.
So, Sir Reginald. Sir Reginald creeps slowly forward. Luckily,
Goblins, can you hear me? No.
He hears something shifting around, and as he does, he kind of takes a peek, and he can see a little bit of a shadow being cast up on that bridge. And just then, both Renry and Eddie trip and splash into the thing, and the splash wouldn't be so much of an issue. But when Eddie trips, he knocks into Renry. Renry's weapon bangs up against the cave wall, and suddenly the shadow seems to turn towards you very quickly. Reginald.
You hear, oh fuck, as he falls into the water.
And Reginald, who I will remind everyone is constantly babbling, turns to both stealth, silent embarrassment.
Yes. So this thing has just stirred, and it is taking notice of you at this point. Reginald has done his mumbling. And
is there anything I can do to determine what this is? Well,
you can't see too well, but if you had to guess,
I take out an eye and throw it.
How about this? Give me an intelligence check.
Okay. Where is it? There it is. Well, intelligence is 0.
Okay.
But apparently, I'm a savant.
Right. It takes all of your genius built through years of noble inbreeding to figure out that you're in a goblin cave. You've smelled goblins. You've killed goblins. You saw goblins probably come in here. It's probably a goblin.
Oh, goblin. Don't expect you to know.
And Renry and Eddie, you have dark vision too, right?
Oh, yes.
Yes, both of you, as he points that out, you kind of look up and you can see a goblin kind of leaning over the rope railing, trying to see what exactly.
No one sees Eddie like this. Ray of Frost.
Renry just tries to lay further down into the water, so like just her nose is sticking out.
Yeah, no, I'm with Eddie. I'm gonna blind throw a javelin.
Okay. That ray of frost hits the goblin, and there is now an icy goblin statue. And unfortunately, the javelin hits the icy goblin statue, shattering it, making an interesting loud noise.
We're the best. Yeah. We should just do the rest of the dungeon from here.
And you hear
they're gonna come to us now anyway.
You hear as you go for oh God, you hear kind of just like someone clattering down the hallway from up behind him.
They have children.
Yeah, I don't care about them. I'm casting prestidigitation, trying to blow the water off. Just by the gallon, just get it off.
Renry stands up and like readies her shield and or hammer.
All right, and out pops this goblin and roll initiative.
Oh boy! I don't do dice anymore.
A second goblin pops out onto the bridge and just kind of looks down at what seem to be icy meat chunks.
Oh!
Oh, look, frozen food.
Ooh, okay. And the goblin will act first.
Oh no. But Reggie got
honestly at this moment.
16.
Everybody give me one more stealth check.
Oh dear.
Okay.
Yep, none of that.
Normal.
Okay.
That makes perfect sense to me.
That's those numbers are both terrible, so whatever.
As Renry sort of clanks around with her getting her weapon ready.
It's like he comes out and we're all just like, hi! Those little Grecians, little Reginalds, you know, it's like, well.
And then Eddie cleaning himself.
Cussing and swearing and pushing the water out of his felt. Yeah.
Notices first as that goblin goes, starts running back But I'm going to go ahead and give you one action, Eddie, before he goes back into the
We all know
Finger
what this
guns.
is. Ooh, that probably didn't do it.
That could have been a
Did
better
not
He
do
jump.
froze his ass as he ran to the.
you just barely miss as he slips back into the chamber.
We're gonna
And
go
you
for a
Oh,
swim now.
can hear him running. Hey, don't spoil the thing that everybody already knows. It's like spoiling the end of Titanic.
Yeah, okay. Module's only been out since like 2002 or something.
Right? It's only the first episode of every single D&D podcast. Okay. So yeah, he goes ahead and runs on in there, and that is his action. And we will say, since Eddie already got his action, let's move along to where were the initiatives? We'll move along to Reggie.
All right. Reggie moves over here. Reggie wants to make a jump up onto this plank going across.
Okay. I'm sorry, you're making a jump onto where?
I want to jump from where I am here up onto this plank.
Okay, it is a 20-foot jump.
I want to kick off the wall.
So let's see, a high jump.
I want Reggie to
Remember,
do this so bad.
What is your strength modifier?
My strength modifier is 3.
And how tall are you?
I don't know, how tall is Reggie? Reggie is the same height as me. Reggie is 6'4".
Supposing he has put away his weapon, he runs and jumps off the cave wall and barely gets his fingertips on there.
Very well. I will.
And since you haven't used an action, you can attempt to pull yourself up with an athletics check.
I will pull myself up with my athletics.
He kind of struggles doing his muttering thing the whole time. Eventually manages to get up there. Renry.
Renry looks at this and just like, oh, I can't jump that high, you know. But I guess we're going this way. And I'm gonna
Up the stairs.
run that way, I guess, and look around, and then I will keep running. So.
All right.
This is where we lose Eddie.
By
So
this
I
point-
used, double move.
You use double move? Fantastic. By this point, the goblin has made it back and started hearing,
I speak
anybody
goblin.
speak
What did he say?
he said, drop the dam, intruders!
They're going to drop the dam, darlings.
And it is your turn, Eddie.
Yeah, they're going to drop the dam, darlings. I'm going upstairs, and I leap across and try to run up the stairs.
Freeze the water.
You try to get up there?
Yep.
Okay. It's well, because you're doing it a little heinously, give me a dex check.
Absolutely.
Jumping and
Oh,
panicking.
yeah, this is where we lose Reggie.
Oh dear.
Oh, see, you make it over the water there without getting your boots wet, but you land directly on a pile of gravel and start to slip around. Fred Flintstone, yes, Scooby-Doo style,
Yeah.
and fall right down on your face.
Somebody plucks like a cello string when you fall.
You have fallen prone, but you did make it into this
okay.
passage here.
All right.
But you are prone. in
So
that
you face
passage.
down in the dirt.
Yes. And
Quickly look around to make sure nobody saw.
Everything.
I might die here, but I'm not going to be embarrassed when I do it.
you were out of view of anyone. Everybody was distracted, so nobody saw. Reginald.
Sir Reginald charges forth heroically into battle.
and arrives next to a goblin.
Next
we're
to a
gonna be
Gerblin.
done. We're going to be done by the top of the hour.
Axe out.
Go ahead and ask that question.
He's an axe him to this.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
No today.
Yes. With what kind of slash was it
understood
this
that.
time?
This was an underhanded cleave.
An underhanded cleave that comes up diagonally across the body. This time severing from a rib cage to shoulder, and
Hopefully permanently preserving the confused look on the goblin's face.
frozen with rigor mortis. The last few moments as oxygen is still pumping through the goblin's brain, and it looks at you. It tries to make a noise, but you slice through its lungs, and the top of it just falls off the bottom of it. Renry, what are you doing?
I'm gonna keep
Sorry,
flanking
Ren.
running.
Mr. Dungeon Master,
Yes.
did our walk up to this thing constitute a short rest?
No, you were walking.
Okay.
How was that a rest? You could have waited outside the goblin cave while we were on the break.
Does one not rest? I mean, does not one not go hiking as leisure?
Leisure is not rest.
Okay, fine.
Nice try, though. I got you. I caught you.
So I'll move up here, see that there's a dead goblin. So 20, and step over here, and I will.
And there are torches scattered around. You can all easily see this. Right?
It's
Awesome.
it's always easy to figure out where Reginald is.
And I'm going to swing my warhammer down on the goblin. Maybe.
That might be enough.
No, as you do it, the goblin kind of shoulder steps out of the way. It could hear somebody coming. You didn't quite know what you're running into, so you didn't quite catch him off guard. It was ready for you. Did a little sidestep. Didn't land that one.
All right.
But now, goblin's gonna turn. The first goblin. Well, actually, this one's dead. So the goblin that you just attacked takes a scimitar swing back at you.
Oh,
And it is a, what is the scimitar? Is it plus what? Plus what? Hold on. Come on. I should know this stat. It's literally the only stat block I've had to look at so far.
it's literally the weapon you use every single.
Dude, I don't know mathematically. I click on the fucking. Oh, I could use the character sheets here too, couldn't I? Whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah, you know, it's all in there in Roll20. You just click the button and it's done.
drag and drop.
All right.
It's real easy.
Well, look, we'll figure that out someday. It's 12 bit your armor class. No, I don't think it's 12 bit your armor class.
No.
All right. So it swings back at you and also misses. And then this one is going to also run up though, and it's gonna go. There's stalactites in the way. I can't. It's very frustrating. And then it's gonna come over here and throw its spear at you. And we will do that as a miss as well. It throws its spear and the spear goes clang, ding, ding, ding.
We might be fine, guys. Like this is turning out pretty good for us so far.
Meanwhile, having heard the ruckus over here, another goblin runs in from down below and back towards the little goblin pool over here and starts like shoving on a board that's kind of leaned up against some stuff.
Oh no.
You think something might happen if he gets another turn at that. And
right, well, there's 2 of us and 3 goblins, so
Eddie, what are you doing now?
I'm glad you asked that.
I'm gonna die alone in the cave is what Eddie's doing.
I'm heading up the stairs here. I get to here. I look to the left. Whole bunch of goblins.
You immediately see all of them. A
Yeah.
couple of them are actually in beds sleeping. The others circled up here are playing cards.
I
Some are
hold my
pretending
hand up.
to sleep while they have an
I hold
arm
my
up
hand up
reading
like
it.
this, and I didn't mention earlier, but he's actually got black nail polish on, and it's incredibly high gloss. So he actually uses it to check his hair and kind of.
How he does his makeup.
Oh well, if you're going to go step to here, and I will let loose with burning hands. It should get all of them, except for this
All
guy.
right, what
way
does
back
burning
here.
hands do?
Well, let's just
It does
There is a
all the
full
damage.
9 points
Or
of
not.
damage to all of them.
Is
Unless
this-
they make a.
Did they give you this in the pre-gen?
This
Yep.
is in there. Yep.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
This is burning hands. This is a wonderful spell.
9 points of damage unless they succeed a dex save, I believe.
Yes, dex save they take half. So dex save they take 4.
They'll be slightly less burnt to a crisp.
Jeez.
All of their things, anything that's flammable in that area, the one that are wrapped in the like burlap blankets, just incinerate like a goblin hot dog.
Okay, so on
And
the dex
all
save,
Eddie
they
can
take
think
half?
of is, I'll bet you I look good in this light.
On the dex save, they take half, you say?
Yep,
Yeah.
dex save they take 4 each. If not, they take 9.
Okay. So, what do they have to save against?
13.
Oh, there.
A 13?
Yep.
Okay, so these three in the front that are around the card table, you just destroy all of them. They combust. They just explode into separate little pillars of flame sitting around the card table. As
Shouldn't
the
gamble.
tables-
Bad for your health.
And wait, what is the range? Do you have
15 feet.
foot cone?
So
Yeah, that's what I thought.
3 steps.
So-
the only one that
see-
doesn't get hit is this guy way back here.
Yeah, so the
Could have, but
the one over in the other one over in the bed here, he gets a little scorched, and this guy pops up just like, "Eh, what the fuck?" Which you can understand because you know Goblin.
Yeah.
So
Hello.
these guys are dead.
Boop, boop, boop.
I don't know. how
I
to do
like to
the
think
X
I
thing, so we
jauntily
just
shove
delete
out a
them.
hip.
There's like a little bubble on like the bottom corner of it when you select them.
Yeah.
If you select, you can put an icon.
We'll
on it.
worry
Don't
about that another time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Reggie, you're up.
We never knew what happened to Eddie. He disappeared down a corridor. Eventually, once it was all cleared out, we found him amongst dozens of charred goblin corpses. He looked fantastic in his last moments. Anyways, Sir Reginald moves forward and lets out his, of course, battle cry. Theresa. And as he trails on third, he pulls out his javelin and flings it at the one trying to knock the boards loose.
Okay, give me that roll.
Oh!
Yeah, no, it actually it hits the
It
board.
knocks more stuff loose.
As it hits the board and sticks into it, the momentum drives over and completes what he was trying to do, which knocks in this first dam wall, and this sudden influx of water in the second pool pushes the second one right over. Suddenly there is a huge wall of water that you all kind of see from the side because you got out of the way.
Welcome.
Well, I
and-
hope Eddie is not in that.
Let us hope.
Oh dear.
In a coat made entirely of felt, old Eddie would have been half a mile downstream by now.
We'd probably hear him by now.
Oh shit!
There he is.
So the goblin there that just got all those sort of things knocked over there, it now runs on. No, actually, wait, it's not that goblin's turn yet. It just kind of looks over at you and goes, "Ah, go," which you don't understand unless you speak goblin. Or do you speak Orc?
Man, I barely speak common.
All right.
That's
yeah,
a fair
you-
statement.
So nobody knows what he said. But, you know, he doesn't seem mad.
All right, well.
So that brings us to Renry.
I'm going to, again, okay, well, second time's to charm me. And I'm going to swing down again with my Warhammer and nope. Okay, well, I guess it's third time to charms.
And a miss. So
and I can't really move.
Yeah.
You could like.
I'm gonna sidestep over here, so I'm at least kind of.
Yeah, all right, you're gonna take an attack of opportunity.
Do your worst, little goblin. And that was when Renry
So far
died.
unscathed.
And that is a hit with the scimitar.
Oh, of
You
course.
sidestep in 2 different directions.
And just as you're running, the goblin swings, and you're a dwarf, so it probably hits you about in the waist, and you get a slice right along your kidney there, doing 5 damage.
Oh, okay.
The half your health.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that was not so smart, you know.
How dare you taste my blade?
Are we seriously
And-
playing stupidest person in the room right now?
And it's now that goblin's turn to go. And so you're still not really out of reach there, but you are kind of out of the way. So he's going to have to step in here before he takes his next one. And that one definitely hits
Oh no.
for another 5 damage.
Oh, I am unconscious.
Out cold.
And the first one to go down is the cleric. This game might be wrapping up soon.
Well, that's the end of that. Good playing with everybody. Thanks for joining us.
Meanwhile, this other goblin who just released the flood is kind of confused about why Reginald is going from killing people to being very helpful. And so he kind of stands there for a second. And then he starts to go towards the stairs over here, but he stops. And
I cannot kill
Meanwhile-
enough of these goblins on my turn.
meanwhile, over here, this injured goblin is just trying to put his own fire out. This goblin here gets up and starts to run this way to get up the stairs to safety. And Eddie, you see suddenly over this ledge that you now notice, now that there's not 5 goblins in front of you.
Yep.
You look around the room.
The smoke clears.
There's a ledge to your left. It's about 10, 15 feet up. And just suddenly over that ledge falls a body. And it dangles there from its feet. And out from the ledge pops another goblin. This one with like real armor.
And kills you
Looks like it was-
immediately.
Probably about halfling size, probably taken off a halfling. You can actually see a holy symbol of Timora reflected in the light. And it yells out over the ledge at you, Eddie. Pretty good. But I'll tell you what, let's make a deal. The human lives if it works something out.
Love this goblin voice.
We're fine, darling. We've got a cleric, and I start to laugh.
Meanwhile,
All right, well, it is your turn. So shoot your shot.
Ray O'Frost.
okay. Renry is going to do the greatest comeback in history when she rolls a 20 on her death save and comes back at 1 health.
Oh,
Don't
there's that
jinx
ray of
me.
Okay, so that ray of frost for sure hit.
Yep. Probably just enough to get him to drop our dwarven friend.
Well, he wasn't actually holding them.
Ah.
Oh.
Okay.
He's just hanging there.
He's just hanging there.
He's just hanging around.
Yeah, and you can see that the rope seems to be attached to a bolt, something like attached into the ceiling.
Probably
somehow.
this thing.
Right? Something like that.
So after that, I've still got a movement left. I will tear ass up this hallway. 15, 20, 25, 30, screaming as I go, I found your friend! I found your friend!
Dude's super dead now.
All right. Where the
I hear him calling out. The reply back is
I'm gonna go ahead and assume
I hope the
this
cleric's
guy's
okay.
a regular ass goblin and just count his shit down there that way.
Yeah, he's probably just a slightly better armored regular goblin.
As you go off, you hear the voice yell, "Fuck! Well, get him!" And this guy jumps out of bed and comes after you.
Mm-hmm.
And we go back to Reggie.
Reggie is going to, seeing his good friend Renry Copperpot fall in battle, Sir Reginald Theresa Applebottom III produces his great axe, points at his foe, and moves to cleave him.
Every one of Reginald's attacks actually takes 2 actions.
There's
the speech and then the
important.
attack.
Clearly. Speeches are going to go down to history.
Oh.
Good night, everybody.
Yeah.
Yes. So, having missed, the goblin...
Does that count as a distraction?
I mean, yeah, but this goblin is a fucking ninja. So basically, as you swung, he just kind of turned to the side and swung his own sword at you.
Okay.
And
Do your worst.
does a 16 break you?
No.
And also misses. This goblin runs over to here and tries to get your attention. Hey, and this one's speaking common, no less.
Shit.
Did Emic sent you? Are we doing it? Are we doing the thing? Are we doing it?
This was any other character.
And he has moved into your space, so if you want to take an attack of opportunity, you're welcome to.
Did he move in?
Well, yeah, no, you know what? He fucking did. There he is. He moved into your space. Why not? He snuck up right behind you.
You know what?
He tapped the other one on the shoulder too, and he's like, "Hey, hold, this might be the guy." Hey, is the guy?
Let me get into Reginald's mindset.
So,
Yeah,
Jonathan, welcome to that DM moment where the player doesn't get what you're trying to drop.
No, I get what he's trying to drop.
The character doesn't get what the DM is trying to drop.
I'm just like,
no, I love it.
And
I'm hoping he refuses. So
I want to, like, Sean the player wants to see this character attempt to bluff when he is incomprehensible at the best of times.
All right.
You know what? He's going to go for it. He's going to give it a shot. He's going to, after hearing this, he lets his axe drop a little bit. And he's going to roll a bluff check on that. What the hell is bluff?
It's called deception.
Oh, right. Sorry. Oh, forgive me. I'm like,
you call it bluff we're always doing bluff checks and will saves in our games too.
Yeah, I know. This is an ongoing problem. Go ahead, DM. Fucking resolve that shit.
So the goblin you have been fighting, who just knocked out your friend, goes, "Oh God, you're gonna no." And the other one's like, "Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure it's him. I'm doing the wrong voice.
Yeah.
Pretty sure it's him, man. But like, didn't you hear him? He was like, I don't know what he said, but he seems like he's not fighting us anymore, right?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, go." I'm like, "Okay." And so the first one turns back to you and he says, "Okay, so what's the plan?" Meanwhile, Eddie, you're up. What are you doing?
Do I need to make a death save?
Yeah, I guess you do. Thank you.
20.
No,
Oh no!
That is definitely not a 20.
that is not the high number.
Oh dear.
Okay.
I love this moment.
So what does Eddie do?
I turn around and look behind me. One? You sent one to deal with me? Ray of Frost.
Just as you say
because this guy's
that,
already damaged, right? Because he's taken the firebolt before. Yeah.
Oh no, yeah, from the firebolt before. Right?
Oh God!
And
now he's a statue.
This one's coming up just behind, and just as he gets around the corner here, the head of this goblin, in the form of a frozen crystal goblin head.
Yep.
Yes, using all of my words today. Goes flying past him and shatters against the brick wall. And at that
point,
point,
at the other one. Run, you fucking moron.
He looks at you, looks at the wall, goes, and slowly kind of walks his way over to this passage and makes his way down the passage.
I lost him.
And dives into the raging river and fucking leaves the cave.
Well, I am emboldened by this, so I don't walk.
Okay, Eddie's having a great time.
I like the hips and the jacket. It's the frock coat, right? So it flares at the waist. It's not out behind me.
What's that? What's the
Way
fucking?
too proud.
What's the song that I always play on Drag Race?
And then I walk back to here and yell ahead of me into the room. I'm here for my dwarf, asshole. But I'm all actioned out, so I'm standing there helpless now.
Okay. So what are you look? So the goblin up here, he comes over to the edge and he kind of looks around at everything that just happened. He saw most of it, heard the rest. Okay. All right. Let's talk. What dwarf though? What?
Isn't that a dwarf hanging from a string?
No, now that you're looking at him more closely, this is a human man.
He did say human.
Oh, damn. Okay. Well, I'll take that instead. Just cut it down.
Whatever you got in the back.
Whatever you got. It's like a butcher. It said beef. I'm sure it's not. I'm sure it's horse, but
yeah. So yeah, he's down.
Maybe she won't notice it's a dwarf. It's not a dwarf.
Meanwhile, over here, there's a conversation going on. So the goblin's like, "Hey, yeah. So, what's the plan, man? What are you doing? What are we doing?" Reggie, who's talking to you?
While they're distracted, I cut them in half.
Okay, so which one? The one you were initially fighting, or the one who came to chat with you?
The one we were initially fighting.
Okay, give him that swing.
I'm gonna give him a swing because do I get advantage because he's not?
It's irrelevant.
Well, like I'm gonna say, see if I get that crit.
Yeah.
So you actually downdid your damage by rolling again.
So you hit the one, and the other one's so close to him and off his guard that he actually takes a little bit of just like bludgeon from the edge. He takes 1 point of damage. And goes, God, what the fuck, man?
Oh, my friend. Satisfaction.
Fuck that then. And he runs off the other way. And he gets to about here and starts shouting in Goblin.
Oh, shit. I done triggered the boss fight. That's cool. We're going to get through this. Me and my 6 HP and Eddie.
You know. And
next turn, I'm going
saving
to...
throw.
Oh, right.
Oh, I hope you've got medicine because mine's +1. So.
Well, after that dude runs away, I advance on top of the corpse.
Hey!
And my next turn, I'm going to attempt to stabilize our good dwarf friend.
Slightly less dead than you were 6 seconds ago.
Right. So yes, meanwhile, over in the other end of the cave, this goblin up here is talking to Eddie. So, yeah, come on. I think that we can...
3, 2,
what are you counting for?
1.
Hold on. What's the thing? Give it to me.
Good God.
Yep. And
Mr. Finger Guns over here.
it posed in a
Wizards are fun
very
as long as you don't get hit.
Yeah, right.
let's make a deal sort of way is how this goblin will stay until he is thawed out and or eaten. And there is the man hanging.
And start making my way towards him and trying to figure out how to cut him down, doing the least amount of damage.
Like fucking mission accomplished, team. Like I'm gonna grab Redry and get out of
Well,
here.
that's the thing is, as far as Eddie knows right now, we're done, right? They've got the wrong guy, but we got a guy. Let's go.
As you get closer, you can hear he is in fact breathing. And you see his eyes are swollen shut. He's very, very beaten up. There's kind of, as he breathes, a little bit of like that click when somebody has pneumonia, like there's fluid in his lungs. Hanging upside down isn't helping it right now. And he musters just enough to say, smart choice. That guy was an asshole. And is now your move. Or no, you moved. You moved over.
Casting prestidigitation on his face where he's all messed up.
It's still sufficiently swollen, but
but it's not
as bloody.
all the pus and the blood and everything.
It's more pleasing to look at now.
Yeah, and my plan, I've moved already. So next turn I'm going up the stairs to cut him down. But
you have moved, and you took your action here. So we go back over to Reggie.
All right. My good friend Renry Copperpot is on the ground, unconscious. I have no methods by which to save her. I can try to do a medicine check.
You can certainly try.
Can I lift her?
You can try a strength check.
I know this is impolite, but Renry, how much do you weigh?
That's a good question.
As a dwarf, I'm going to say she weighs about an average dwarf equals an average human. They're shorter, but they're stouter.
Yeah, they're dense.
Yeah. So, give me, if you want to try to lift her for something, give me a strength check. If you just wanted to try to stabilize her, give me a medicine check.
Can I strength athletics?
Yes, you can.
All right, then. 14.
Okay, you are able to lift her up.
Then I try to move her with me.
Okay. And where are you moving her to?
We're going down this way. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to assume that I am encumbered, and I'll move it half.
Sure.
So I get to about here.
Yes, because I'm very concerned about those. There's that dead goblin. So this one now makes his way up here. After all that yelling, you can hear all the goblin yelling in the distance, and then you hear more yelling in goblin, but in a different voice.
And another goblin-y voice.
Yes. And things happen over here that you don't need to be very concerned about.
All right, I'm not going to worry about any of it.
Yes.
I'm good. Me and my 6 hit points. We're going to gather up our cleric and GTFO.
Yes. And that cleric is going to give me another death saving roll.
Woo! And hopefully not.
This shit goes any further
Big
south,
20,
we're
no
going to
whammy,
hit
no whammy.
Forgotten Realms.
Oh,
next
no!
Oh no!
That is 2.
He failed.
One more.
All right. So all of those things happen as Eddie. How is he going to go about getting this?
I start using Mage Hand to pull those cots, those little goblin beds. Using because I'm not touching them, but I use Mage Hand to pull them over underneath this guy as I walk up the stairs.
Fleas come out.
Yes.
The latest copies of Plague Gob.
No, don't distract me. I'm working, darling.
It's Harrier's monthly falls out of one of the.
So yeah, the pile is up below him. I go up top as though I'm gonna pull out my sword as though to cut the string. Then I look at this goblin just standing there frozen, and I can't help myself. I just reach over and push him off the edge.
Whoops.
He falls off the edge there and shatters.
And I'm sure it took me more than I'm sure that's like 3 actions on a movement, but that's all
On
I'm
the
doing.
ground below.
They're piling. I'm piling up those bed sheets below this guy so I can just cut him down.
Yeah. And I'll even say you go ahead and cut him down, and he manages to fall on. You've piled enough stuff up that he takes no damage, but he is still tied up and beaten very badly.
Yep.
And
in the darkness, if anybody was looking, you'd see, ta-da!
And you do so wonderfully with aplomb. And somewhere, does Eddie worship any deity?
Oh yes, Ogma, who's probably not particularly proud of him right now because Ogma's all about intelligence and knowledge, not smashing goblins on concrete.
Ogma's not particularly proud about the goblin smashing, but is a little impressed that you managed to create a suitable catch fall on stone stairs, no less.
The physics, yeah, pretty good with physics.
Quite impressive. So Ogma's like, dumbass. And
Nicest thing you've said to me in years.
And then we are on Reggie.
Reggie continues to move forward with his good friend Renry Copperpot. Mm-hmm. And then once he is past this wooden bridge, he sets Renry down and shouts down the hallways, "Ready! Assistance!" And then he pulls out his axe and waits by the bridge.
Okay. As he is waiting there,
right behind him, laying on the ground,
he sees, just coming around the corner into the opposite edge, 2 goblins, followed closely by a wolf.
My nightmares. Deepest, darkest nightmares.
And that's all, because you're real far away, so they got to use their turn to move. And
he shouts down.
No, actually, you know what? No, you know what? This guy takes an arrow shot because he's in that range and he has a bow. And he totally hits.
Awesome. I'm going to die now.
And he does 3 damage.
Oh, I'm still up. Barely.
Okay.
You're gonna make me leave the 2 of you here.
And
this is
Renry,
terrible.
Renry gives us the death saving throw.
Renry, give us that 20.
Oh no!
As you get there,
breathes her last next to me.
As Reginald runs over and sets Renry down on the far side of the bridge and gets ready to defend her, feeling confident that he has alleviated the danger for the moment at least, she suddenly stirs and utters her final words, which are,
Theresa, you did good, dear.
Ladies and gentlemen, you just witnessed the first ever PC death on this channel. We've been going for about 9 months now. This is the first, well over 100 episodes. Or no, we're not at 100 episodes yet. I don't know.
Way over 50 anyway.
Way over 50 episodes. This is the first time a PC has ever died. And
the first time a
dying
PC
words
death
here.
has resulted in comical laughter.
I fucking love that.
If we ever have a physical location on which to put a plaque, there is going to be one.
Oh
that
no,
says,
we gotta put this shit
You
up
did
on the
good there.
website. This has gotta go in the wiki. You did good there, Teresa.
You did, Teresa. You did good there.
Oh god. He like sputters out of this dwarven body next.
So there's that.
I love every part of this.
And as Renry dies,
It's always the cleric. It's
As
always the
Renry
cleric
dies,
that goes.
her player suddenly takes control of
Another dude
almost-
standing outside the cave.
No, the almost dead man that just fell into a pile of bedding.
Oh.
Oh, there you go. I like that.
And hold on. There we go. You should be able to see and control that token now, that character. You can take an action as best you can, but you're tied up, beaten real bad, and you have 1 hit point.
So, you know, a little better than what
Just
you were
get to
doing
die
before.
again.
Slightly better than you just were.
Not
All
a
right.
lot.
Oh, he's moving.
We'll try and like very carefully like try and untie the rope. Like, all right. Well, I guess I shall pull this one and try and untie himself.
Okay. That brings us back to the top of the round with Eddie. What are you doing, Eddie? This person's stirring and now able to have a conversation.
Yes. I come down the stairs, cod purse jingling. That's what it's called, by the way. It's a cod purse.
Excellent.
It's a cod piece, but it's also a purse. Yeah. Come down the stairs and look at this person and say, don't take this the wrong way, but you're not a dwarf.
No. I'm Sildar. Allwinter.
Real quick, Don, do you need Sildar's backstory, or are you familiar enough with the module to know what's going on?
You can see her reading as we speak.
Yes. I have 1 sentence on him, and that's really all I remember. So
basically, yeah, he's a human. He was accompanying Gunn Drin to Phandelver to help. He's an old friend of Gunn Drin's. He wasn't necessarily going to have an ownership stake in the mine, but you know, he was going to be kind of top level once they got it reopened.
cool.
But he's just in general, a pretty nice guy. Unless you don't want him to be, he's yours now.
He's yours now. Do with him what you will.
Yeah.
Throw.
So Eddie and Sildar are. Eddie, what are you gonna do now? You're gonna
Eddie?
I have no idea that our Sir whatever the heck is in trouble at all. So yeah, I'm gonna have a conversation.
Well, he did shout. He did shout down the hall towards you. So
That's true.
So
Eddie.
Well, and you don't know this individual here, Sildar. So Sildar, what do you this strange person who, as they get closer, you start to see is just through your swollen eyes, kind of just looks like a tall, lanky, purpley blob.
Fabulous wizard.
That sort of seems to sparkle a little bit, but your eyes are real swollen shut, so you can't get a super good look at him.
If you're here to rescue me, please rescue me. But if you're not, get it over quickly.
Oh, I've killed lots today, thank you. You wouldn't be much of a challenge anyway. You know how to get out, right? The way they dragged you in?
Yes. Have you seen Gunn Drin?
No, we're still looking for him. Given the those purple is your color, dear, but those eyes are. Maybe you should crawl out.
Perhaps you could untie me?
Oh, yes, of course. It can't be any worse than doing a bow in your hair.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll take an action, and I'm kind of looking over my shoulder, but I'm untying him at this moment. Yeah.
All right. So with those people untied, these goblins start to move forward.
All right.
Well, no, actually, this one stays still because he's got the bow. This one's going to move forward, and out from behind also runs a wolf, snarling, growling as it comes upon you. The wolf reaches you first and takes a swing there. And
At me, wolf.
come at me, wolf. And that wolf takes a swing, and that wolf with a 10, which definitely ain't gonna hit your shit. So
Do your worst.
tries to bite at you. It snaps, but it's only got one eye, so its depth perception isn't great, and it just snaps like 2 feet in front of you.
Goodbye, squishy boy.
I'm gonna interpret that as attacking the wolf.
No, attacking the bridge.
Oh, attacking the bridge.
I'm gonna cut that bridge down.
Nice.
You can certainly try.
I will do so. Where's my axe? Swing.
Oh, you cleanly cut through both ropes at the same time, sending the bridge falling and the wolf falling with it. And an arrow flies out from back here, but it's with disadvantage because the timing, is off because it was supposed to happen at a different time. So, oof. Still manages to hit.
This is where Reginald dies.
You take 5 points damage.
Yeah.
So yes. So now that one is down, and nobody sees it, but something else happens. Eddie.
Yep. Now that I've cut Sildar free, although I don't know that's his name yet, you can find the door. Yes, I've got to go find my friends, and I dashing off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I get to there.
As he loses consciousness, he clutches Renry's unconscious body.
I'm gonna say you freed him on your last action. So if you want a double action move here, you can feel free to.
I will run until I get to there and see the two of them in a heap on the ground. I have no healing. Well, nice knowing them, and I piss off the other way.
You motherfucker!
All right, give me.
Actually, no. Wait a minute. The bridge isn't there, right?
The bridge isn't there. The bridge has been cut. But you can see an arrow.
No, there's 2 goblins with arrows over there. I'm out. Sorry. Just met you guys.
Fuck this. I'm out.
It's chaotic good, not lawful good. This ain't no paladin.
Okay, I guess that brings us to Sildar.
All right. I will.
What are Sildar's stats? Does he have any healing spells?
I'm gonna say for brevity, Sildar has the exact same. Sildar was also a cleric. Has the exact same stats as Renry did.
I have his stat sheet pulled up.
Well, I mean, it's like, what a coincidence. Sildar sat next to Renry at cleric school.
Yeah, no, it's like they actually go way back. She just didn't see it. She would have recognized him, frankly. Yeah. But
Sildar makes his way out, sees Eddie running back towards him, and goes, "We're going down this way, okay?" And we'll stumble down. He has no idea what's going on.
Falls and dies.
He's only got 1 hit point too, right?
Oh shit! All right, give me a dexterity check.
All right.
Oh God!
Does that work?
No, it's not working.
There we go.
You should be able to click on.
I hit it. Oh, it's to
it
the
asking you for-
GM. So
Oh, okay.
so
is that? Oh, were you still rolling at advantage? All right. So we're gonna say you barely make it down there.
okay.
You trip and bang your head on the wall and fall
yeah.
unconscious.
Yeah. No, you make it down to where you're going.
Eddie leaves and starts dry cleaning business.
Meanwhile, you also at that point you start to hear though a little bit of and Reggie, give me
Oh,
that
shit,
saving
of
throw.
course.
Oh yeah, right. Sorry.
Yeah, you're not dead yet.
I did yet. This is where Reggie rolls a 20 and comes back to life.
Or
No, or just gets one success.
Gets one. A bunch of other stuff happens. Things move around, and you hear, and this is loud enough to echo through the caverns. So Eddie, you actually are able to hear this deeper voice in Goblin as it says, "Oh, what the fuck, guys? Who built this bridge? Like seriously?
The bridge is nothing in the face of Sir Reginald.
Climb down.
Killer.
And they'll start using the bridge kind of like as a ladder to try to climb down this cavern as they're looking over and trying to see what's going on in there.
The rushing water is going to take them.
And brings us back to Eddie.
Yeah.
2, 3, 4, 5.
And by this
6.
point, so Eddie, as you get over there, Eddie and Sildar, you both see the water's sort of dissipated. It's back at a normal rate of flow as the big flood has been broken through. Nobody's damming it up again yet, so it's not like slowed down to a trickle. But
I like
it's
to
not
think I
going to
just
wash
pushed
you away.
Sildar out of the way as I went past.
Yeah.
Yeah, gone. Yes.
Out of the way, dead man.
That's down to there, and then
How
yeah,
hard
I'm
did
just,
you push him?
And I'm just going to bolt. I mean, this wolf's going to get an attack of opportunity, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more. So yeah.
And like a passing meat haunch, the wolf grabs you and drags you.
Yeah. This wolf. Well, actually, give me a
Not the
stealth
cloak.
check.
Not the cloak. Not the
Eddie,
cloak.
give me a stealth check. Because this wolf was kind of scratching at the walls over here, like trying to climb back up to where it was going. And as you pass, you get a little bit of distance away before it does hear you and begins to pursue. So it's still pretty well behind you.
This is how we die.
This is how we do. So that would bring us to, we're back at Sildar again.
All right. Sildar is going to
Do something
get
about
to
that
hear.
wolf.
No, he'll get to hear, and he'll see the wolf and just be like, huh, and will swing with his long sword, and it's a I can't turn off advantage on this.
That's fine. You need it anyways. So yeah, you go ahead and swing at that there wolf, which takes how much? 6 points of damage.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And it has now obviously turned its attention towards you because you basically slit its butt off.
All right. Well, I will take my second melee attack since he has multi-attack and swing the long sword again. Oh,
fuck! We needed Sildar in this.
Rescuing a level 5 fighter. What is?
Sildar's got better stats than all of us.
As
You
Eddie
should have been rescuing us.
as Eddie runs away daintily, pursued by a wolf, Sildar, the heavily beaten, almost dead, stumbling, limping,
murders a wolf in cold blood.
mostly normal ass human, comes in, sees a giant vicious wolf,
Which
one swing
probably took damage from the fall in the water ride. I'm just saying.
cuts its tail off, and then as the wolf turns around, Sildar comes back and cuts just part of its snout off, and it goes straight down, dead into a pile. And then you hear up from the corner what everybody else just hears is, but Eddie understands this. Oh my God, Ripper! Oh my dog!
This is the worst day ever. My horoscope was right.
Reggie, give me a death saving throw.
And Reggie. Wait, I gotta go to the screen so I can see it. Reggie awakens. No. Oops. Buddy.
Not yet. All right.
Is that a success or a failure on a 10? What is that? Is that nothing?
10.
It's called a success.
Yeah, let's
10,
go with
10 and up. I think, yeah.
So down rushes the one goblin with a sword and comes to this. I'm looking at this one. Comes up. This one kind of just stands up here and tries to get an angle. So it's gonna take a shot at Sildar with disadvantage.
Yep.
And misses wide. Meanwhile, this goblin has run down to gets up here and takes a swing and misses so wide that it actually, like, he's ready. This is this goblin's hero moment. Okay, this goblin has been like banging for a promotion around here, and so he's like, oh, this is gonna be it. I'm gonna kill the guy before he escapes. This is awesome. This is my moment. And he comes down with his scimitar, like he's ready to cut you straight in the guts. And you just kind of take a step back, and it goes down, and its sword is stuck right in the sand of the riverbed, deep down in the muck. And it kind of looks up at you and starts to frantically tug at it. And then down from the side marches a bugbear that you're seeing for the first time. And Eddie, you hear it yell, "Oh, how did this guy get out? You killed my dog, and it was that guy that we had tied up? What the fuck, you guys? Every one of you are fired. And I'm gonna eat every one of you. I swear to God. I swear to all the gods. If they don't kill you first, I'm gonna eat every one of you piece of shit." And it is Eddie's turn.
Can I play the bugbear?
So turn around and look back. The wolf's dead, right? And there's just this
The wolf
goblin there.
is dead. There's a goblin standing right there about to kill Sildar, who just saved your ass. From a
Fine,
wolf.
leave it to me to save you again.
It's like at the end of everything, you know. I didn't want to be rude, but I think Sildar for Renry was a good trade.
So yeah, I fire an 11 misses, right?
11 misses, yes.
Well, you're on your own, and I'm heading for the cart.
Reggie, give me a death save. One
Reggie
more good one, and you're alive again.
Awakens.
Yes, Reggie awakens.
Oh, now I've got to explain myself. Shit.
Reggie
We're never
awakens.
getting out of here.
What Reggie sees is that the dead cleric is still next to him. However he feels about that is unsure. We didn't get into your relationships with that. Didn't have time. He sees that he did, in fact, cut the bridge. The bridge is down. There's nothing on the other side, but there is one goblin up on the other side with a bow. And now below, there is a bugbear just yelling in Goblin. It seems all pissed off, and it kind of has like little tears in its voice.
Aw. Poor guy.
What do you do?
He produces his javelin and throws it at the goblin, trying to poke out from the edge.
Nice. His javelin that is always with him.
That is always never hit anything
Let's just
ever.
say it's a return javelin. And it's fine. So with that javelin.
What's ammo? I don't know.
Yeah. So that doesn't quite
No.
hit him,
No.
but it does alert him to your presence.
That's what I wanted. I wanted him to know I was here.
Well,
I throw the javelin in.
Well, he now knows you're here, and so does Clark.
Clark's way the fuck down there. I don't care about Clark.
But you didn't just kill. Oh, I'm sorry. This bugbear whose name nobody knows. You didn't just kill his dog. Sildar just killed his dog.
Sildar just killed his dog. Sorry, Sildar. Fuck.
So Clark is going to
Wow, 2 deaths.
Run over.
8 minutes, 9 minutes.
Yeah.
Where's
Oh, we all learned a valuable
There he is.
lesson.
Okay.
To survive at level, run away.
Rip Sildar.
So let's see. He's going to just make this wild attack on you.
Bring it.
Bring it on.
And the entire
Famous last
campaign
words.
ends on the first map.
Does a 13 swung from his
No.
Morning Star hit?
No, it does not.
So he is so angry that he comes charging at you. Once again, he comes charging at you and he swings just wildly, not even noticing the goblin bent down right in front of you. And hold on, let me get the right dice for this. And because there we go. Okay, I need all 3. And because he's a brute and he's all pissed off, he does 13 points of damage on this goblin in front of you. So basically, he comes down with his big, just wrought iron Morning Star. He's aiming for
Disintegrates this other goblin.
He hits this bent over goblin right in the back, and it goes Gallagher style, just like a goblin squirts all over Sildar, and the corpse of the dog.
Well, thank you for that.
And this goblin up over here is, because it's getting spears thrown at it and stuff, it's going to take a swing, or it's going to take an arrow shot, and it misses because it totally thought you were dead. And that brings us back to Eddie, who, I mean, is on his way back to Phandelver. I don't know.
Down the hill, around the 2 traps, and I'm just taking. I'm taking Sir Reginald's horse. I'm not even going to undo the cart.
At this point, Eddie's at home.
Yeah, that's the long-term plan. So I'm out of the fight, but yeah, I'm heading back. I want to take Sir Richard's horse, and I'm going back to Waterdeep.
Sir Richard will find you.
We'll say Sir Reginald had a horse. Yeah.
Well, he said he was riding alongside us, so
yeah, we'll stick with it. I thought he meant like in the cart, but
Yeah.
I like this better. So that brings us back to Sildar.
Okay.
Sildar, MVP.
all that's left is an untouched bugbear.
Well, I'm gonna swing at the bugbear. I can't run away.
Swing at that bugbear.
Some miss, and I'll swing again.
That's a little bit better. So you do some damage to him. Tell me what it looks like.
Sildar kind of like, he's not doing so great. So like the first one, he just kind of flails the sword up, and then as he's bringing it back down, he manages to like land the blade. So it's kind of a bit of a wild, that kind of like wobbly, tough to stay on his feet.
Mm-hmm. It's quite exhausted. But he manages to do some damage. He does those 6 points of slashing damage and manages to cut into the bugbear, who now nobody can understand again, because he's still yelling at Goblin. So it's just like, and Reggie, it's your turn.
Reggie places a kiss on poor Renry's head and closes her eyes, and then clutching his axe, rolls over into the rushing waters. And as the rushing waters pull him towards this bugbear, who this other human he does not know is fighting, he pulls his axe up and goes to bring it down on the back of this vile cretin's head while screaming his war cry.
Yes.
I want to
Yes,
see that on a
yeah.
shield that's all just M's and F's and L's. Just
No, did I swing it twice? Whoops.
You did, and neither of them
No,
hit.
none of those are good. I just like bump into him, die. I'm like,
No, but with the momentum, you do just kind of run into him at the back, which is pretty good for Sildar right now.
it's like
because that causes him to just come around and swing a backhand. But he swings wildly and it goes over your head.
you cannot kill Reginald.
again. We can't kill Reginald again.
Yeah.
You can slash him.
But
You
there
can
is
dash
still a
him,
goblin.
but Reggie
there is-
just keeps on coming.
There is still that goblin up on the corner. He's still got a corner shot, so he'll take a disadvantaged arrow shot. And are you kidding? 2 threes. All right, yeah, no, he misses too.
Reginald's
so-
making it out of this.
So yeah, I guess we're back to Sildar.
Well,
Dead.
Sildar's still staring at
Goblin's
this
dead.
bugbear, and
Unknown
knows if he
human
runs,
hugged
he's
him
gonna
from
die.
behind.
yeah, so he's gonna attack again,
Oh, fuck.
swing twice.
Okay. Okay, we'll go ahead and say that both of those hit. So you do a collective 9 points of damage, and this bugbear is actually like looking like he's fucking taking some damage here, man.
All right, here
Yes.
comes the axe.
It's
Well,
not too
could
bad.
it not be said that I enjoyed a nice short rest while I was unconscious?
It could not be said that. Roll your attacks, Mister. I have a lot of attacks
All right,
and a long name.
great axe swing.
No, it does not hit bugbear.
Clink, 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 clink.
But at this point, he turns around and he swings back at Sildar because now he's getting attacked. He's going back and forth and back and forth. So he's still at disadvantage here. Yeah, he's at disadvantage, and so he misses. He comes over Sildar's head, even though Sildar's just like standing there, barely standing there. Still manages to come over Sildar's head,
Being
And
mauled
just-
by these 1 HP humans.
crash in, and this maul that he's got is these big wrought iron spikes. They just like stick in. Some of the rock breaks apart around it as he does that. And then this goblin up here is going to now finally climb down and
Be helpful.
run over and take a sword swing. And it fucking misses! Damn it. I gotta figure out which of these dice aren't garbage. Okay. So
Just get Reggie down.
misses on there, and that brings us back to Sildar. I
Um,
mean, unless I mean, it's almost Guy. Unless
Almost.
Eddie wants to do something.
No, I'm just a jingling coin purse running down the hill. Ting,
Were
ting,
you headed to
ting,
Phandelver or Neverwinter?
Well, I'm going back to Neverwinter. I'm
When you
going
get
to
to
the
that
city
horse.
where we started. This is bullshit. I don't like this rural stuff at all.
All right,
Good. Home.
Alright.
I ain't leaving town ever again.
love it. Okay, so yeah, so it's
I
Sildar.
thought I'd be an
Sildar
adventurer.
is gonna see this other goblin coming up, look at Teresa and go, I don't know who you are, but best of luck. And I will take the disengage action. I will move away.
I love you.
Fantastic.
Oh God.
Some
Okay.
of the most realistic role playing I've ever seen. This is going poorly. I'm out.
Yep. So
I just met you.
yeah, Sildar moves away, and that will bring us back to... All right, Apple Bottom, what are you doing?
Apple bottom with an O.
You can only disengage from one of these people if you're trying
I'm
to do
killing
that.
this bugbear.
You can certainly try.
Well, that's my attempt.
15.
Yeah.
Okay, so with your latest and greatest swing of the sword. The first one.
Great axe.
Or no, the second one.
I only get the one, so it's just the 15. The other stuff is
Yeah.
old stuff.
Oh, yeah. Now, I mean, you don't. Look, the bugbear's got an armor class 16.
Okay.
As much as I want to give you this one,
No, it's fine. They're both gonna miss, and we're gonna do this again. This is good.
yeah. So they both miss. Both your attacks miss.
Okay.
Or was that just supposed to be your first attack?
I only get one.
Gets one.
I only
Oh,
get
now
one.
you
I
only
don't
get
have
one?
two yet.
Damn
Anytime
it.
I rolled twice, it was accidental.
Damn it. Okay. Well, then
Kill him. Kill him. He won't kill you tomorrow night in retribution. He
then
won't.
these goblins. I've got way too much plot armor. Maybe next month he'll kill me.
Sir
So-
Reginald.
So yes. So the bugbear is going to take his mighty swing here,
All right.
and he is going to land that mighty swing.
Okay.
And
Does he do more than one damage?
he always
Can't do
He-
less than
he
3.
does 3d8 damage.
Oh shit.
Shit.
So that's 9. Are
Yeah.
you insta killed with
I'm
9?
super dead.
Are you insta dead?
I'm super dead.
Well, he's going to be after the goblin stabs him in the eye.
Yeah.
I mean, the goblin. Well, yeah, no, you're unconscious.
Gets
That is
advantage,
almost
automatically
negative.
crit.
The entire
So-
amount of my health.
So the goblin rolls with advantage because you're on the ground and crits. And the goblin, this goblin wasn't banking for a promotion, but he's now the only
The
living
process
member
of
of this branch of the
elimination.
organization. So he's become second in command, and he's living it up by chopping your head clean off of your unconscious body.
Oh.
Oh, Red River. That can't be good.
as-
Red River.
But as he swings, time slows down. Reginald looks up and utters his final words, which are, and with that, we rejoin a fabulous elf of indeterminate
Untouched.
gender from a distance.
Untouched.
The wizard.
whole night. No,
The wizard was untouched and walks out of
Looking-
this whole thing.
Totally fine.
I got a
riding
new
a
horse out of
horse.
the deal.
Back
Oh,
north.
God.
Along the road to Neverwinter.
Spending
And
the whole trip back trying to figure out exactly what version of the story I'm going to tell. That
well,
makes
he
me
may
sound
have
like
that
a hero.
opportunity to do so because as he's coming up the road, he catches up to a couple travelers walking along. A half-giant barbarian carrying a large maul, and a tall, very covered up man seems to be walking with him. And that is the end of our game for today.
Oh, Jonathan, great first game. Well
Yeah.
done, man.
Thank you.
That was
So
fantastic.
So yeah, for those of you who came in here late, this was my first time ever DMing. So it was interesting having DMs, longtime DMs as my players here. I feel like they were very easy on me. It would have been very easy for them to make it very difficult for me. And I think I fumbled through it. But since I'm assuming that now some of our other players on the channel are going to start to catch the bug and want to do this sort of thing, let's instill a couple traditions. One of them being notes. DM notes from my players who have a lot more experience at this than I do. Brutally honest, what can I improve?
You had a little bit of. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
You had a little bit of trouble finding your footing in the beginning, but that's kind of
Definitely.
natural. You're coming across it fairly easily. You had the standard new DM hesitation at killing players, but as I instructed you when this began, this module eats players.
Pull the trigger. Yeah, that's the only advice I was going to give you.
I fudged a few
you had
times.
us all dead.
Yeah,
You had us
I-
absolutely
I could
finished.
feel you fudging dice on the other end of it, but that's okay. Sometimes you have to. I mean, at the beginning, you were kind of hesitant to do the descriptions, but you kind of settled into it afterwards. Like everything got better as you became more comfortable throughout. It started with a little bit of and then then you kind of settled into it as it went throughout.
So I should have been more comfortable with the material before I started, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
No, the only comment I was going to make is I could feel you pulling punches at the end, right? Especially for a one shot. Kill them all.
I wanted to make sure
Kill 'em
somebody made
all.
it out alive.
Yeah. Two of us did. Sildar made it out too, so he can tell me all about this nice dwarf that we never rescued.
Yeah, that's true. If you had all survived, though, then we would have to, like, people would be like, well, then what happens next?
What happens now?
Well, that's the funny part is we basically just finished the module because a real party at this point would have gone, well, yeah, that didn't work.
I guess we're done.
Right, I guess, yeah. Let's go back to Waterdeep. I think I can get a job as a butcher.
My second trip into this goblin cave went about as well as my first trip into this goblin cave.
Yeah.
The same NPC killed me.
Well, that was a tremendous amount of fun.
Everybody else kind of covered just the settling into the descriptions and was the main thing I noticed, that you got better as you went along.
Yeah, your descriptions are very good. I like them a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But as everyone can see, the world didn't end. I did this in public in front of more viewers than I was expecting. And it was my first time ever DMing, and it was fine. It was a good time, and I do feel more confident right now than when I started, and I feel like my next session will go better. So if you've been out there thinking about jumping into running a game, you've wanted to play, you don't have anybody who DMs, or you've got some people who want to play and nobody's ever played it all before, just pick up the starter set or the essentials kit. Now they have for $12. You and your friends, even if you only play it once and go, yeah, you know what, I don't know, then you and your friends all had a lot of fun for 3 to 5 hours for $12.
And you should all DM, because all the DMs out there desperately want to just play a damn player every once in a while.
I was so happy to play Reginald, and I knew I went in expecting him to die. I was like, Reginald's done. Like, he's not going to make it out of this.
So yeah, that was our game today. Don't forget, if you liked what was going on here, give us that follow. Also, you can find all of our past shows of our ongoing campaigns over on YouTube, all of our recordings there. And speaking of our ongoing campaigns, why don't you take over, Puck? Tell them about what's happening tomorrow.
Tomorrow, the party gathers together in Waterdeep in an effort to try and figure out how to counter the political machinations of one Mr. Devonian Zelos III, a villain of theirs constantly working behind the scenes in Waterdeep, while at the same time the looming specter of the impending attack by Lord Blackwind, former member of the Avalon Knights Academy, who has given the team 30 days before he descends to destroy them all. Will they seek him out to conquer him? Will they get marred in their own social conversations while I sit back and drink from my mug? We will see.
That is our crossover event. So for those of you who aren't familiar with the channel, we have 2 D&D games that run regularly on Sunday and Monday. They take place in the same world. They're DM'd by our own Puck Lord of Chaos over here. And we're doing our second ever crossover event tomorrow, which will be forever known as Crossover to Waterdeep Boogaloo.
Yes, I love that name.
And then on Tuesday, we have the latest installment of our Deadlands campaign, which is GM'd by
me. Yeah, and if these guys ever stop role playing, we might actually get along to the next encounter.
Man, welcome to my world.
I quickly watched the last couple episodes, and we have had 6 hours that only covered 6 hours in the game world, basically. So we're moving right along. This is going to take a little longer than we thought, but yeah, it's we're having a great time. I'm really enjoying it.
It's the RPG version of 24 at this point.
Hour per hour as we go along. Big thank you to our new producer,
Absolutely.
Oh,
Yay!
that
Yes.
must have been unbelievably brain-crushingly stressful. And just like we watched Jonathan get better as the night went on, I watched that little window down there and it got a lot better too. It started to follow the action better. So thank you behind the scenes. I know Jonathan appreciates the being able to just sit down and play. So thank you on his behalf and on our behalf as well. Nice job.
Yeah, I don't think I would have done nearly as well if I was also trying to handle the production at the same time. For those of you who don't know, there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes to get all of these videos and audio feeds kind of into one to work. And so our newest producer apprentice, soon to be full-fledged producer, as soon as she starts her own campaign, which is probably going to be clockwork. We're going to get to that. It has done a great job tonight, keeping everything together and making sure that you could see and hear us all night.
That's
So
Tech Critter in the chat, so be sure to give her
Tech
the...
Critter in the chat. Be sure to check her out. She has been streaming her own stuff, games and such, longer than she's been. She's just joined up with us here and gotten into the D&D thing.
Friend of the
Great
show,
role player as
new
well.
member of the family.
Yeah, absolutely. The other things we have coming up on Thursday is going to be the launch of our Clockwork Dominion campaign, which is actually going to be GM'd by the creator of the system. It is a steampunk Victorian Gothic horror. So if any of those words sound cool to you, be sure to check in for that. Also next week on Monday, after we get our crossover stuff settled up, there'll be a very special guest star joining the Warlocks on Too Many Warlocks.
That's right. Joe Cat of internet fame. You may have known him from the Crap Guide to D&D or Crap Guide to Monster Hunter World. Will be joining Too Many Warlocks.
The Joe Cat.
Joe Cat.
So if you've never seen him play, if you're a fan of his stuff, or even if you just heard his name, come by. Or even if you just in general want to come by and say hello to us, come do so.
Absolutely.
Other than that, anyone else have any other announcements? No? Okay, if you want to learn more about how...
Tomorrow night, come raid me. I'm going to be on a different channel.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
With a bunch of other people who we've never played before, but we all stream D&D. And there's going to be 4 of us and a DM who is apparently infamous for TPKs. So I got out of here alive tonight, expecting that I probably won't get out of tomorrow night alive.
That's going to be karma.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Kevin is going to be playing on the Praetors Rejects channel. They have a special Halloween campaign going with a collaboration of people from all different streams. So we're definitely going to make sure to raid them when we finish our game. And we should be able to catch the second half of that. And yeah, if there's nothing else,
I believe we're done. Say the thing.
I get to say this. Oh, no, that's the other thing I was going to say. If you are interested in how our whole production behind the scenes work, I'm working on a series of videos about that. There's one that should be going live this week. Starts with audio, which is the trickiest part. As we once again reaffirmed tonight. It's a pain in the ass. But until tomorrow, a shockingly few number of hours, class dismissed. And Tech Critter, take us out to an end screen.
One of those.
And then we mute the microphones. Yeah. There we go.
We'll try again in the morning. And the owl bear gave me a hug every day, and reincarnated was I. But recycling your soul can soon take its toll. My mind sometimes wanders,